thought they had banished us forever. But now, finally, we have returned.
And indeed we have, to discuss the sequel trilogy. Yay. Yay. It's like, yeah, without further ado, please welcome my guests. I can't think of anything pithy to say, and I need them to bounce off of.
Greetings, you lot. Whoops, why is Lord Commander Chap muted? That's sort of odd. Oh, there you are.
I'm not.
You were.
I am indeed a Dark Lord of the Sith. Jedi can go suck it.
Well, yeah.
Very good point. How not to do a sequel to a franchise, and also not how to not do a trilogy, since this trilogy is terrible. But we're kind of getting in. We watched it a couple nights ago. I think that's the most mad I have ever seen Tarek at anything. Transformers 5 was not even close. Like, we were mad at Transformers 5, but he was like pissed at this one. And it was kind of amazing to watch.
Oh, greetings, Nihilist Chap. Sorry, you just muted me, so I thought I should greet him right back. And yeah, pretty much. I pretty much am. Yeah, pretty much.
And we have a few more guests that are going to be cycling in. We'll probably have them give their thoughts, then refresh as needed throughout the stream. But this is going to be fun. I'm excited, to say the least. So, we have our next guest.
Yo, what's up? So, we all ready to go over the only Star Wars movie that I came in with high hopes and expectations, only to come out hilariously disappointed by the end.
Greetings.
Hello.
And Nihilist Chap says, I am sorry for your loss of brain tissue with watching the sequels again.
You know,
Like, I need to hear the bards. I was told. I need to see it.
You know what?
Yeah,
That's
I will
good.
be. I will. Yeah, that's the nice thing. So, you guys are going to be the first to know that, in honor of this thing, I am going to be periodically releasing all of our Star Wars commentaries over the course of the year, as well as last year's Halloween commentaries. Now that I found a place to put all of these commentaries, they're all going to go up on Rumble for your viewing pleasure.
Oh.
So if you want to watch them, I will be releasing them on the Discord, but I will also be announcing them on my YouTube channel so that anybody who wants to can go straight from the YouTube stuff to Rumble to watch our commentaries. It'll
Nice.
probably be like short, like 5-minute recordings or streams, depending, and you'll just be able to say, "Oh, so this is what they think of this movie," as they live react. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will be putting that out periodically. That's going to be next Tuesday, I believe.
Oh.
Is that the middle one then?
Yeah, it's the second worst one. Rise of Skywalker is the worst.
Oh,
Possible.
okay.
Arguably, yes.
Which one is Ryan Johnson?
That'll be TLJ.
That's the next one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, because he's the one whose name I've heard most in terms of hate stuff.
Yes, because it was with him that everybody began to realize this was not going to be a fun time. Also, hello
Well-
there, Nihilus, I guess. Imperial Soldier. When did I get demoted to Soldier? I was like freaking Admiral and General. I freaking conquered the galaxy. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know, but I would sue if I were you.
Yeah. The Emperor would like to have a word with you, buddy.
Okay, so are we going to give our thoughts and all that rot?
Okay. Well, wow, I did not intend for this to segue into a done chill statement. Oh my gosh. Well, I have to tell you guys that, well, if you guys want more entertainment, and honestly, like, some of them are actually funner than the streams in many respects. Like, the fun that you have, you might get more. Especially when you get Tark's live rage reaction to Transformers 5. And I'm honestly going to still maintain... Is that a sell? Yes, this is I just found this... I just thought that this was the most applicable Prezi image that I could use.
Fair.
It's Jeep. Like
No,
the film
it's
itself.
just convenient. No, just convenient.
It's deep like the film, but we'll get into how deep the film is shortly.
Yeah. So I am going to okay, so let's it's called a Prezi. It's slightly better than a it's called a Prezi. It's better than a PowerPoint because it's three-dimensional. And I can move in and out. So quick thoughts. I'm gonna maintain. I'm gonna wait until you guys give your thoughts, and then I'll give my thoughts.
All right.
Your thoughts on the movie?
So, Valerian, I go first or you go first?
Depends. I'm a virgin, so so and you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway.
You're recently married.
You go first, because
I'm recently married.
Because I'm getting some. Huh? Yes, those are in fact midichlorians. Yes. How did you know? Brilliant. You can go first. I'm getting a little bit some lag on my end.
Okay. So this work is a postmodern masterpiece. And I will prove you why, because the very premise itself calls into question the coherence and intelligibility of reality. What do I mean by that? Well, the Republic is in power, presumably, but there is a resistance. And who are the resistance resisting? I mean, there's the Third Order. There's the first, where did I get third from? I think I got that from something. Anyway, the First Order, who are, my thoughts are blurred. The First Order are a terrorist organization, but they've got the power to blow up 5 planets. And it's not clear what, if anything, the Republic is doing. There's nothing indicating why they're not doing anything. In the film itself, I've heard that there is material that says that they decided to militarize, which is very stupid. But that's not in the film itself. So, not quite. Also, it calls into question human agency because we don't understand what the motives are beyond some of the main characters. Like, why are Finn and Rey even involved in all this is unclear. So, that calls into question the possibility of free will, the very coherence of individuality and human will and intelligence itself is called into question by that. Therefore, it is deep. It is a postmodern masterpiece.
Fascinating.
And the lighting is nice. Sometimes I like the red stuff.
Yes. Also, to address Nihilus, all is forgiven. That is fine. I don't expect everybody to know how much of a nerd I am. So, I'm going to go ahead and paint a scene for you. The year is 2017. You have
15.
a younger... 15? Oh,
15.
crap. You have a younger Lucia with no knowledge of critical thinking or critical writing or any of that stuff. As a matter of fact, I might have said that I was a communist back in those days, but ironically, not in the sense that.
Carry on.
Go for it.
And our good communist. Oh, yeah. I was told about how great the Star Wars Legends were. You know, everything that happened after the original trilogy. And I was like, okay, well, Disney's going to be doing that, yeah? I can't wait to see how they adapt that old Star Wars Legends material and, like, redo it for their own purposes. And I see all the promotional images and stuff. It's like, oh my god, we have a female lead? This is going to be amazing. I can't wait. We have a black stormtrooper. Oh, not just that. He's going to be a Jedi. He's the trilogy's Jedi. This is going to be incredible. And then I started watching the film. And I was like, yeah, I like these two, I think. And by the end... halfway through the film, I began to read about all of this. Something didn't smell right. It slowly dawned on... It dawned on to me upon a singular scene where they explained to me, no, this is the Death Star. This is the Death Star 2. As in, this was the moment where I realized that Disney was speaking through the characters, speaking through the scene, and it's like, guys, this is totally not like the original trilogy. We swear to God, we are not just ripping off A New Hope. And once that happened, the mask had slipped, the curtains over my eyes had been lifted. I just watched Star Wars A New Hope all over again, and my disappointment was immeasurable, and my day was ruined. So we're about to go over the movie that disappointed.
So...
that disappointed me.
To be fair, they didn't just lift things from A New Hope. They also took things from Empire Strikes Back, and I'm fairly sure there was stuff from Return of the Jedi in there too.
I bet there is, but undoubtedly we all know which of the movie they definitely banked on the most when they were writing this film.
Yeah, just wait till TLJ or we get even more ripoffs. We do have a guest in the back room, and I feel like this this clip is very appropriate.
I'm pissed.
Welcome.
What do you want me to follow up with that?
That was short and to the point. Greetings, by the way.
I mean, great introduction. How the hell do you want me to follow up with it? Like, to be pissed at this point. Oh, hey, Becca. Anyways, to be blunt, to be pissed at this point would mean I'd have to think about this shit anymore. I haven't thought about this shit since 2017.
God. Well, I want to actually know. I actually want to know why are you so pissed off about this, especially after rewatching it recently?
I've said this before. But I'm not pissed though. I'm not pissed. That's the thing. If I was pissed, that would mean I have some kind of emotional investment anymore. At this point, it's just apathy. Like, oh, great, another Star Wars shit is coming out for what? What would it be? Like the 8th program, 8th movie, 8th series? Yeah.
Yeah, that actually summarizes my emotions to the entire franchise at this point. Just straight apathy.
They're doing more sequels after all that?
They're making my mother yesterday. And no, this is not the start of a joke. My mom sent me a link to the Book of Fett, or Book of Boba Fett, or whatever the fuck they are calling it.
Oh no.
And in any other context, I kind of like that title, because Mandalore has kind of become both a philosophy and a religion. I kind of like that in a way. But who cares anymore? This isn't the Boba Fett from Legends who literally jetpacked his way out of the Sarlacc pit while setting it on fire. These aren't the same characters anymore.
Yeah.
No, hold on. No, Nihilus, I haven't seen fucking Star Wars Visions.
I have, and I can use it confirmed to you right now. It's not that good.
Would you look at that? Yeah, here's the thing. When George Lucas made these, anime was not a thing yet. You only had traditional samurai movies. Yes, the Japanese do anime. Yes, the Japanese do samurai. That doesn't mean they're the same fucking things.
Well, I mean, back in '79, that we had a live action program called Monkey, based on Journey to the West. That was Japanese, but it wasn't
That's
anime.
Chinese.
Well, the people who produced it were Japanese.
Look, I
It
know
was
they
like
all look
dubbed.
the same, but come on, man.
The sheer amount of spice in that one statement.
Kelly Hu and I can't remember her name. Let me look at Marco Polo really quick. Kelly Hu and Maggie Q look very different. They're both very attractive women, but yeah, but to answer your question, Valerian, basically they are doing a bunch of Star Wars TV shows on Disney Plus, like 8 of them.
8 series?
I'm not exaggerating.
This calls into question.
Yep.
Who cares and who asked?
They announced a bunch of them.
They announced 16 new Star Wars series, according to an article I saw today.
But
All the people
why?
combed their jeans at the sight of Luke and the
No comment.
Well, I don't know about you, but
Wow,
whenever
I
Kathleen Kennedy
I
comes
lowballed
on,
it. I lowballed it. Dang.
You could at least have said cream to make it slightly decent.
No, at this point, you have consumers, you have coomers, and then you have whoever the fuck that one guy was at the Rise of Skywalker trailer.
Oh my fuck!
I don't even
You
know
have
how the hell you classify that.
I don't
You
even
have
know
cucumbers.
how did he feel that? What
Eric
did he do?
Butts.
What's going on?
Eric Butts.
What was going on in his head to make him feel that way?
I have no fucking clue. And the faces he was making are the kind of faces that no man with any amount of testosterone should be making.
No man with any amount of dignity should be
Yeah.
making. Oh well.
Well, I'm glad I
This is
missed it then.
There's a reason why I simply tell everybody who gets introduced to Star Wars for the first time. There's a reason why I tell them, welcome to the dying red supergiant that is Star Wars. Because just like a red supergiant, it is huge, it is bloated, it is everywhere, and it is fizzling out fast.
How poetic.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, my cousin was the one who came up with the analogy, so you can thank him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to fight over the
Alpha.
prequels again? I mean, fighting over the prequels is so.
I don't know.
few
I
months
don't know
ago.
what it. I can't. I didn't see the statement being made.
Well, they're talking about. Looks like they're talking
Oh.
about the prequels again.
Oh, that so. So Nihilist, that one is about Star Wars Visions. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
were. I think like they got slightly mixed up with. I think they got slightly mixed up. Replica didn't clarify that he was talking about Star Wars other than the prequels. So
Yeah, I just
So-
don't even.
okay, so I'm okay. Here's my thoughts. Let's get serious here. This is an F grade movie. This movie is terrible.
You
This
didn't
is-
show
this-
this.
Okay,
There we go.
so I didn't see this movie in the theater when it came out. I watched it 2 years after it came out.
This
You just
movie,
don't-
sorry, this movie though it's an F grade movie, but with an A grade budget. Like they threw every penny they could at this thing, and it was not worth it.
You lot just don't understand postmodernism.
Valerian, I swear to God.
No, calm down, calm down.
I swear to God, you're the one who writes about communist rabbits. I don't want to understand postmodernism. Why does everything always have to be, let's subvert it, let's explore it, let's tell a fucking story?
What story? Did you say story? How very linear.
I have a revolutionary idea. Let's tell a fucking story that makes sense.
Mind blown.
You know, I'm just gonna tell you this all right now. I am happy that the sequel trilogy
There's
exists
also
and that there's so many people who eat it up, because it just tells me that the bar for storytelling is that fucking low.
Also, Replica, the only Star Wars vision I want to see is this franchise die.
Oh, yes. Let the hate flow
Uh,
through you.
Die, Star Wars, die!
Man. You know, I probably would have ended up amongst the Sith, now that I think about it.
I would have ended up a petty Jedi, just like making people think my change was a full dollar rather than something in change. I'd be using that powers for so much petty shit.
Eh,
I'm sorry, did you get the bit from Replica above, the one that's in all caps? Did you get that one? Right, Lord? Oh, God.
Is he down?
Man, I thought I was the one who's gonna have internet problems today.
Oh
What?
shit.
Who killed him?
I have absolutely no idea, but it seems like we're gonna have to take over the stream for now, boys. So, yeah, this movie was not good on second reviewing. Like, the first half of the film was okay-ish, if you forget that Han Solo was an established character who had his own character arc and had already undergone that. If you threw out basically the original trilogy and you watch this in isolation, the first half was pretty good, and then the second half, it makes you start thinking, what the fuck is happening?
You know what the weirdest thing is, and this is something I kind of came to realize after my second viewing. Han Solo can be
sorry, my
Ha-
internet.
Han Solo can be written out of the movie and nothing would be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was something I was going to point out from above from Replica Films. It's all caps. Yes,
Yeah.
let's go to Hollywood and Tarek and
Yeah.
bomb the studios until there are none left.
What is he talking about now?
Let's bomb Hollywood.
Sounds like a terrible idea. Do not
That's a
condone.
that's a terrorist act, you idiot.
He doesn't
think
mean
he's
it
agreeing
literally.
with-
I'm guessing he doesn't. He probably
I have a
doesn't mean it
bet-
literally.
I have a
I'm
better
guessing
idea. I have a much better idea. Go ahead, you first. I'm sure your idea is wonderful.
Who?
I'm sorry, gents, but it seems that Dunn's going to be having some issues today with internet connection. But yeah.
Okay, point is, I have a better idea. Let's stop giving these assholes money.
Oh yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Problem is that not everybody in my house seems to agree that Disney's utter trash, and that they've only been putting out utter trash as of late.
Speaking of trash, I unrelated, somewhat kind of related, but not really. But I just know my dad is going to want to take me and my mom to go see the new Bond like next weekend, and I am dreading that.
I mean, that's the thing in the current climate of filmmaking, storytelling. Everything inspires dread in me, and I hate that feeling. Like, I just want to know that there's something. That's why I fucking ran over to manga, because it doesn't inspire dread. It makes I pick up a new manga and I'm like, let's see where this goes. Like, I just read Chainsaw Man last night, the volume 1. It's like, yeah, it has pacing issues, but it was funny. It was enjoyable. It was comedic. Even if it's also a little vulgar, like really freaking vulgar. But that's fine.
So I'm so sorry. I had to do some adjusting on my internet antenna. I am so sorry. But yeah, getting back to my thoughts on like the Force Awakens. My story is that I went off on my LDS Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints proselyting mission October 2015, right before The Force Awakens came out. So I had to wait 2 years to watch it. So when I got home, I was able to watch Force Awakens, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi all in the space of 3 months. I didn't have to do any waiting. And I watched it with my friend's family at their little private little underground theater, which I was like, cool, for free. So I didn't pay money to watch this, and I didn't pay money to watch Rogue One either, because Rogue One's on Netflix. And I didn't have to pay to see Last Jedi either, because I got to go to a party that my grandparents, that was being thrown by my grandpa's work, since he was a radiologist at the time. He's since retired and works as a consultant. So I didn't watch it immediately after it came out. But I didn't watch Rise of Skywalker in the theater. I just watched Mahler's review, and then a few months later I watched it.
So you watched it twice.
Yeah, I watched Mahler's review, and then I watched it with my family, and I was holding back my anger.
And then you watched it with us. Was that 3 times total?
I've seen it, the full movie twice, but I've also seen Mahler's 2-hour review of it. So, yeah, I guess 3 times. But my initial thought was, it's pretty entertaining. I think it's fine. I thought it was pretty good. And I watched Last Jedi, and I was listening to School of Movies, and they were like, yeah, this is pretty good. This is really good. It's really deep. And then I was just like, I saw the controversy around Last Jedi, and I guess we could talk about this more when Last Jedi, but then I kind of like started looking back at this. I started like looking around the internet and kind of seeing, wait, there's some controversy going on with this film. Why don't I try and figure it out? And then I just started poking around, and like I finally found it. I found Wolf through Anomaly Inc. and through Wolf I found Mahler, and then I found, oh, wow, this movie is terrible.
Oh,
and actually,
so
like, yeah,
you found Mahler through Wolf as well. Huh.
yeah.
Cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was in like
Will
the
be-
recommendeds.
Wolf will be missed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a different wolf. That's the Dishonored wolf, not the wise one.
Yeah.
Oh.
The guy who the guy who says this.
This garnered several reactions from me that repeated themselves like 100 times throughout the course of the movie. Those reactions being, what is this? Why? How? Who did this? And what the fuck?
Yep, I knew
Yeah.
there was going to be a cuss word in there somewhere. I'm mildly surprised he was still restrained. Actually,
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But my recent rewatch, me, Tarek, Balerian, and Aspiring were pissed. Well, Balerian was baffled at it. Tarek was angry, and Tarek was furious, and me and Aspiring were just annoyed and irritated by the lack of quality we were saying.
3 weeks without a good fucking film. It's like a goddamn drought. And you just keep piling this shit on.
You know, maybe you
it
guys,
gets better. It gets nothing better.
you know, maybe you guys should check out Predator, the original Predator from the 80s, just as a palate cleanser. Because I actually recently watched it, and it was great.
I have that movie on Blu-ray actually. Like, it's still sealed. I haven't I was saving it for a rainy day, but I've just been between. Here's the thing: between the busy season, my job right now, and then coming home to watch Transformers 4, then 5, then The Force Awakens. I continually wonder. Oh, I apologize. Plus Breaking Dawn 1 and 2. I wonder why the hell I come on this show.
That's the reason is to make so that Bright Lord will laugh like that.
Yes, it's all because of the sadist Dunn, who derives his pleasure from watching people get enraged at shitty ass film. Also, I saw your reaction. I saw your guys' reaction to that guy's laugh from Twilight, and holy fuck, what was that laugh?
What? I mean, what even was that? Was it even a laugh?
Oh, you mean
Yes.
this?
Yes, that.
Sounds like
What was that?
it sounds like a falsetto attempt at singing. It sounds like he just got. I don't know. Maybe. Well, I guess he's dead, so maybe he's a little bit lacking in the testosterone department or something.
That is Michael Sheen, good sir. You do not talk about that man like that.
Well, he sounds like he sounds like a countertenor or a castrato.
Anyway, I think Dunn would. You want to get back to focusing on the stuff.
Which one? Which ones? Maybe we'll have you on eventually.
Oh no, come on, put him in the ring. I would love to deck him in the face again.
Holy shit!
Oh, this will be. A literal angel? No wonder maybe that's why he sounds like that.
Well, he played an angel in the Apocalypse parody TV show Good Omens.
That was a book.
It's both.
Well, I know it was an Amazon exclusive too.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the book is slightly funnier than the show because the footnotes, as well as Terry Pratchett's. Oh man! Oh my! Oh! Oh man! I would love to have we'll eventually have to have a Transformers versus the sequels debate sometime.
Oh, fuck no! I think I think Bayformers is gonna come out as worse than the sequels, as much as it pains me to say it.
Yes.
Like-
It actually, I would actually say the sequels ruins more because the sequels are born from a really good. No, you're wrong. You are dead wrong. Michael Bay's movies are worse.
Can I just say this real quick? Like,
Yeah.
can I? Okay. The reasons why Transformers isn't as bad for the brand is because Transformers wasn't a movie series and it wasn't based off of like basically the culmination of cinema since the 1920s or whenever Metropolis came out. It was always a toy line. It was always a cartoon. And it can survive a bad adaptation. Star Wars lived and died by its love of cinema. And say what you will about George Lucas, the man, he may have an antiquated idea of film, but at least he has a lot of respect for the art of film. Meanwhile, when we get the sequels, there is no love for the art. It's much more about like, how can we placate the most amount of people and make the most return on our investment?
He who is a friend to all is a friend to none.
Well, considering that Ryan Johnson pissed off
Sorry.
everybody but the dumbest people, yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Tarek.
Go for it.
Good.
Okay. But yeah, it's just an important lesson for everyone to remember. A
Yeah.
friend to all is a friend to none.
Always
I-
kill a traitor before an enemy. Just remember that, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, like, I don't know what, like, part of it's just like the sequels ruin more. I would say, like, ruin better films. The Transformers are just colossal
contained.
messes, are contained bad movies that have no coherence, that have horrible humor. Like, as bad and pathetic as the humor is in these sequel movies, the Transformers movies are way worse.
Big
But
wang.
But again, the thing is that Transformers didn't start as a movie series, and it kept going. The problem here is that Star Wars canon started with the movies. That is the whole issue here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I seem to
And
recall
then-
some-
What?
I seem to recall some amusing bits in the dialogue for this film. Let's see. Actually, some of them were maybe unintentionally amusing. There were a couple of bits where they were lampshading, and my reaction to that was, like, for example, someone says, "That was lucky," and there was another one like that too. "How did you do that?" "I don't know." I think that was Ray talking, if I'm not mistaken, saying, "I don't know." So I think that was the point where I commented, "I'm the shade of the lamp." There were some actual amusing bits too. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
Which
Here's-
is more than I can say with Bayformers, because you get stuff like the masturbation conversation in number 1.
Yeah, are we going to spend the entire thing talking about the Transformers? Because I have nothing
Yes.
else to say about them.
Yeah. Well, part of it.
You could do a stream on that separately, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Eventually, we will do a which is worse, the sequels or the Transformers movies, and maybe at the tail end, I will bring Replica on to debate which is worse.
I'm gonna go ahead and just put in my 2 cents about the Bayformers movies. So I remember that there's another series for Transformers that was released around the time called Transformers Animated, and I loved the shit out of that. You know, like almost instantly, Soundwave became one of my favorite Decepticons, and just in time too. By the way, for Dark of the Moon, where they basically character assassinate him.
Yeah.
So I was really I got to be pissed off about a Transformer character getting character assassinated.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Transformers Prime too.
Yeah, Transformers Prime is the best Transformers media that has ever come out.
Yeah.
I also going back, since everybody seems to want to go back to TFA or to any kind of discussion about this for some reason.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize, for God's sake. You never apologize. Here's what I was going to say, though. One of the worst things about this movie, and this is more egregious than the other ones, they pick legends like a goddamn vulture. Because they killed an entire continuity and then proceeded to start picking at its corpse for ideas that they weren't smart enough to come up with.
Yes, exactly. That was like the biggest thing for me that I noticed. Like, this was actually what was appeasing my fanboy side for a while, and then I developed my sense of cynicism and criticism, and I was able to realize that all they're doing is that they are nostalgia baiting, ripping off the OT, and also, of course, doing exactly like you said, picking at the legends and stealing the stuff that they want and implementing it into the new canon.
And speaking of legends, that you all just reminded me of this other bit from the films, which is another example of what I call a postmodern masterpiece, which is when Rey says something like, "Isn't Luke a myth?" And it's been, 40 years? 40 years is not that long a time. Especially since Han Solo is still alive, what's her name is still alive, Princess Leia is still alive, and where was I? Is Luke a myth? I mean, how does this even happen? They could have set this thing centuries later, and then that would have made sense. And also,
go for it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Also, that way it makes more sense that the Republic has become weaker again, or else the First Order somehow took over. But that brings up the whole premise problem again. So so it's like, how is Luke a myth? How is this politics even going on? I mean, the politics was already vague in the prequels and confusing. It was nice and clear in the original trilogy. It was kind of confusing the prequels, but at least it made some sort of sense. Now it's like, God help us, what the place is even going on?
Well, I guess that's a great segue into the plot, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I kind of got to I just put the world building is awful and nothing makes sense. Everything in this movie is either contrivance, mystery box nonsense, or plot hole.
Yes, imagine you've finally overthrown the great, powerful, evil empire. You've had 30 years of peace and prosperity within the galaxy. You could have built up a proper army to defend your borders, to defend your people, and prevent another empire from rising. But yet somehow all you've done was that you've Neville Chamberlained yourself into a position where the fucking First Order, the small tiny group, the small tiny band of Imperial loyalists, managed to blow up your freaking capital. The New Republic is not only incompetent, but completely inept in every sense of the word. It is hilarious.
Well, the funniest part is, they have a fleet. Hux says they're going to destroy the Republic fleet along with those 5 planets. So they had some military. They just suck.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They do what I do. They did what I do whenever I play Empire at War. I just take my entire flotilla or my entire fleet, place, and just I kind of do an Alexander the Great. I don't leave behind a defensive force. I just keep conquering as far as I can go and never give the enemy a chance to fight back. But then when they have a super weapon like that and I don't know about it, I lose the game.
Ouch.
Yeah. But like Valeria was saying, the world building of in this movie is awful. It is really bad.
It's just postmodern, that's all.
Hence it's bad. Hence, it's bad. Postmodernism is idiocracy personified.
You just can't grasp it, that's all.
No, it's not. No, postmodernism is perfectly understandable. It's basically just question everything that came before and make crap that doesn't make any sense. That's what postmodernism is.
Yeah,
It's
I
beyond
remember.
your intellect.
Yeah, I remember the first day I walked into my job and I told my boss immediately, "Yeah, I'm the new guy. Everything you know, it's shit. I know better than you."
Brilliant. I
Yeah.
bet you flew up through the ranks pretty quickly.
Well, it was
Yeah,
a pizza. Well, listen, it was a pizza shop. I was a delivery driver. There wasn't much room for growth, anyways.
Well, in that
Yeah.
case, hey.
Yeah, but let's kind of break down why the world building is terrible. Like you were saying, like apparently they think that Han Solo, historical fact, and yet Luke Skywalker is a myth. And
After 40
What-
years, apparently.
it's around like 30 to 40 years, but let's go with 40. Like at least like since Han and Leia have a child who is like late 20s, early 30s. So it's been at least that long. About that long.
He looks like a teenager.
He kind of does, yeah.
I think
He
that's
looks
just
like an
Adam
edgy
Driver's. Good.
Yeah. Well, Adam
Yeah,
Driver's
that's
like
my
late 40s. Adam Driver's like late 30s.
Yeah, he looked like an edgy teenager to me.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Oh, it's
he
just
acts
30.
like it.
Wow, just 30? That's so bad. Like that's us not remembering the 90s.
Yeah, it's like you saying, what's some fame? Let's see. It's like you're saying, was Star Trek: The Next Generation, was that a myth?
Or was the BBC Narnia movies a myth?
No. Star Trek: The Next Generation being good was a myth.
Oh,
Oh, we're not going to go there.
That's a spicy hot take that I was not ready for.
yeah.
We've already done Transformers. We don't have time to argue about that. All I'm going to say is that it varied a lot in quality. Next Generation. One episode will be brilliant, and the next episode might be absolute rubbish. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. But in terms of what we have here, and like for some reason, like Rey, a desert scavenger, knows about Han Solo as a smuggler, not as a war general.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually extremely funny. How the flying fuck does she even know anything about Han Solo? Like, it's established that she's literally living in the middle of bumfuck nowhere where absolutely nothing's going on. She is surrounded by the ruins of, Star Destroyers and such. So I guess she must have some idea that there was a war, but how?
Here's a better idea. Here's
how
a better
does she know
question.
that detail.
Those Imperial Star Destroyers would have held like probably very good records of what was going on, even if you can't crack them, because I'm sure they're encrypted. I'm sure if you're bored enough, you would especially if you live on Jakku, you'll take the time to crack those codes just because you're bored. All there is to do is scrub like scrap metal. And I don't know why they were scrubbing scrap metal. Wouldn't that just ruin the circuitry?
Probably.
Yeah, possibly.
But Rey would have been able to crack them too. You know she would.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah, given what she's able to do.
Oh.
It'd probably just take her half an hour to figure out the entire thing.
I
do you
just
say?
remembered something though. The whole thing with Luke being a myth. On those Star Destroyers, Vader put a hit out on him, for God's sake. There would have been, like, probably some kind of a paper trail.
Oh, not just that. A freaking executor class dreadnought was freaking shot out the sky over Jakku. And I'm talking, the
the big one.
yeah, the big one.
The Super
Like the
Star
one-
Destroyer. Shit.
Yes.
Wow, would
One
have been
of
nice
both.
to see that in the movie.
Oh yes, it was confirmed in
I'll be right
separate
back.
source materials. The name of the ship was called the Ravager. That thing was shot out of the sky and it crashed onto the ground of the planet. So, where's that thing, huh? Where is that ship?
Oh,
Kind of hard to
we,
miss a freaking executor, you know?
we have another guest in the back room. He has just arrived. Let's bring him on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I've
Oh,
arrived,
hey.
suckers. How is your
Hello.
pain?
Oh,
Tarek is mostly apathetic anger. I think that's the best description.
I mean, I kind of forgot why this film was so bad. I just kind of dismissed it that it was bad and just kind of like, whatever.
Well, that's
And I,
because
of
it's right
course-
next. The next two movies are such a unique kind of awful that TFA just kind of goes under the radar.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does actually.
And
I, of
yet-
course, have been the sequel. I, of course, am the sequel defender.
No,
I'm
you're
going-
not.
I'm gonna try. You know what? Screw it. I'm actually gonna try to play devil's advocate for this movie.
No, don't wait. Actually, I was about to say we have Replica, but he's the one who hates these movies, which is why we want him on just to see how much he hates them.
Yeah.
Does he
we'll
agree
bring-
to that?
Well, he was demanding to come on a little bit earlier, and I was like, okay, I will let you on at 5 o'clock once we are finished. And some people who and anybody who wants to pop out can. And like if Valerian, you need to head out, I will let you. Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say, Tarek, she's demanding it. You have to now.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We haven't had aspiring chaps' thoughts yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
You, aspiring, describe your thoughts on this movie.
It's shite. It's a lot of lost potential made by J.J. Abrams, who wants to orgasm to a bunch of explosions and cannot write for shit because he's a parasite of all other greater movies.
That's quite
scathing.
eloquent. That's very eloquent.
Yes.
He's-
No comment.
We will. Don't worry, Replica. We'll bring you in about an hour. We just want to finish like our discussion on the movie, and then we'll kind of like go from there. Don't worry. I will bring you on. Don't worry.
yes.
But yeah, the world building is awful. Like all they really wanted to do is replicate the original trilogy, specifically New Hope, with a lightsaber fight like you had in Empire. But the choreography of the we'll get to the choreography in a little bit, but the choreography of the fight scene between Rey and Kylo is freaking awful.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
You know what? I'm gonna say this right now. The only way that the world building of this film makes any sense at all is if you're to try to read the outside materials. The only problem with that is if I need to do homework in order to understand what's going on in the movie, you fucked up.
Well, here's the thing. I know a bit of what the outsourced material tries to say. It's still pretty shit because the problem is these decisions are really dumb and don't make lots of sense even when attempted to be explained.
Like the Empire hollowing out Ilum in order to build Starkiller Base.
Yeah.
Why the flying fuck did Palpatine decide to hollow out an entire planet to build his super weapon, while he was also building the Death Star?
I think a bigger problem as with respect to this film is how did a small terrorist organization manage to get together the resources to create a star killer that could destroy 5 planets?
Well,
Not
here's
even
the thing.
Empire had that.
Well, here's the thing. Their problem is the fact they don't know what the First Order is. They don't know if it's just a small rebel faction of a bunch of scraps of the Empire, or if they're like a significant amount of their forces that retreated. They can't decide which it is.
It acts,
You
like
see this.
it acts like it is the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't
This is-
decide which, and this is a problem throughout every movie. They can't decide, are they a small pieces of scraps that survived, or are they actually a threatening faction that's large enough to have their own facilities?
Yeah, that's exactly the issue with all this. They wanted to have their galactic empire, but they also wanted to make them the underdogs. It's like literally having their cake but eating it too. And like
Yeah.
another thing I actually wanted to point out is that for the final fight, the lack of the New Republic's response to anything that's going on in this, the fact that after these 5 worlds blowed up, the New Republic just fell apart, and that there was absolutely no reprisals or anything, is freaking despicable. Like,
It's imbecilic. I think is better.
Yeah, was the New Republic just a non-entity for 30 years? Did nobody care about them? Like,
You know what?
the whole galaxy rose up against the Empire for the sole purpose of establishing the New Republic, and now they just let it slip between their fingers like that?
You know what this
Go for it.
I'm sorry, but this reminds me of a thought I had earlier, but then the conversation moved on. Which is that kind of the Empire. Maybe it would have been better if the Empire had won and crushed the rebels in the earlier films, because I mean, at least there was some kind of order, right?
Yeah, I mean the sequel trilogy just shows that the OT was completely worthless, and that maybe it was better that our Nazis stand-in was the victors, which is insane to even be saying aloud, let alone thinking, let alone to create a trilogy that backs that idea.
Here's the thing. That cousin I was talking about when we were watching the movie, he speculated that what should have happened was the universe of Star Wars should be like Mad Max at this point. It was a power vacuum that just couldn't be filled, so trade routes are now destroyed. There's a lot of poverty. There'd be a lot more chaos in this universe, even 30 years on.
Yes, like how in Star Wars Legends we had the Imperial Civil War, where a bunch of Imperial warlords, Grand Admiral Thrawn included amongst them, all vied for power and influence over the Star Wars galaxy, while the rebels are slowly trying to establish the New Republic and combat these guys at their borders, fighting off the Imperial warlords. That's literally what happened for like over 30 years, just like you said.
Just think about what happened with Rome. For hundreds of years after, it was basically constant war.
Well,
yeah.
There were lots of civil wars during the Roman Empire too.
Oh yeah, but it got worse after it fell apart, and it was basically run by barbarians in loincloths who were attempting to somewhat copy Roman civilization and failing miserably.
They weren't wearing loincloths. They were wearing trousers like us. That's why they were barbarians. That's why they were barbarians, because they wore trousers.
Yeah, they were wearing fur trousers made from the hides of dead animals they had killed earlier that day.
Like, let's be clear. An empire without a clear successor will fuck itself up trying to figure out who is a successor.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And like, wouldn't that have been so much more interesting? And it basically like that would have actually made sense, that it's just like it's consistent like power grabbing. You couldn't do that in a movie. The scale would be too huge. You'd need a TV show.
Yeah,
you would do something that size.
Almost reminds me of another TV show that unfortunately went down the shitter in its final half.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could do the movies on like having one specific high-powered admiral like Thrawn or someone similar, and have him be like basically the only surviving side, and then just show that conflict. It'll be a lot shorter, and you can actually use that scale.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though, in my opinion. The whole thing with if you had, let's say you wanted to still do the Luke turning his back on the Force thing, wouldn't it make more sense that he's now disillusioned with the Jedi because, you know, he killed Vader and the Emperor is dead, but all that did was cause chaos in the universe? Nothing is in balance and more people are dying than ever?
Oh,
yeah. That would be great. You know what was even better? It was an equally great idea. I think I actually might have picked this up from watching EFAP or something. But what if instead, after the freaking Empire is overthrown, the rebels became the New Republic and started pushing the Imperials out of the galaxy. Like, they became hyperactive and radical in their crusade against them, and that Luke Skywalker was being used as a weapon to expunge the Imperials from the galaxy, and under his tutelage was Ben Solo, who eventually developed sympathy for our villains and turned to the dark side, becoming Kylo Ren.
That doesn't work for one reason. It kind of goes against the motivations of the rebels in the original movies, but not only that, but everybody seems to forget this. They blew up a fucking planet. Like, this wasn't acceptable losses. This isn't like, you're in the middle of a firefight and all of a sudden you kill a civilian. They blew up a planet. That was all civilians.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Go for it, Tarek, sorry.
No, I apologize, but what I was going to say was, now, you can do this idea with Luke becoming the villain because, and I gotta give credit to Spoonie to this, you just go the opposite direction. It's now that Luke is now worked so hard to rebuild the Jedi to the point where he is now not a dictator, but more like he's doing so much to protect it that he can't see that in doing so, he's starting to fall. It's sort of like an overprotective parent, if you will.
That's an interesting idea. Or slightly less interesting, maybe, is if Kylo Ren were motivated by trying to hunt down the Imperials and he got carried away. And
that works too.
Yeah, that would also work. Maybe not quite so interesting as Luke falling, but that would at least kind of works, though.
Well, here's the thing. It shouldn't be that hard to have Luke be disillusioned in a time of civil war, because he's kind of like, he's having a conflict of oaths. He took down the Emperor, and that was kind of his goal. Vader and the Emperor are gone. What's he supposed to do as a Jedi? He's supposed to bring the peace, and yes, we'll probably want they're gone.
Like I said, all he did, like if we went with the Mad Max ideas, all he did was bring chaos.
Another thing that also is really stupid about what the Jedi are gone again. That's such BS. Also, like the rebels would say, no, we are protecting this whole thing. We are going to turn this into a government program. We are going to find as many Force users as possible in order to have Luke train a lot of as many Jedi as possible.
So
they would not allow him to go off on their own. There would actually be conflict between. There might even be. That would be interesting. Conflict between Luke and the Jedi and the Republic, based on what they think their vision of the Jedi would be.
Yeah, and this actually brings up something else. Is part of the reason world building is so bad is a lot of meta gets into it, unfortunately. Putting the Jedi in a mythical status does not make sense in the world, but it makes sense for someone thinking the people watching it see the Jedi as legendary. And this is one of many things that seem to be a very meta addition into the world building. And also possibly the lack of politics is, again, just kind of JJ being like, people didn't like politics in prequels. Let's just ignore that then.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy is a reaction to the prequels, and it's not a good reaction.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, though, Dunn, about like the Republic versus the Jedi, because that happened in Legends. Because the Jedi became a symbol of the Republic as a whole again. In fact, what was funny was people started hiring Jedi to help them out because it was cheaper than bounty hunters, and people were taking advantage of that. But eventually, when Han's son, what was his name? It was Jason Solo fell. The Republic immediately said, "Yeah, Luke, this is your fault." So, they just started blaming. They started a kind of a pseudo civil war between the Republic and the Jedi.
Yeah, Becca. Yeah, there are so many easy, better ideas, but the fact is, J.J. Abrams is basically a creative vacuum.
Yeah. There's a reason I call him a parasite. He sucks the good ideas out of other movies and makes them worse.
He even
Yeah.
makes already bad at ideas and makes them worse, like bringing back Palpatine in the third movie, just like Dark Empire, only dumber.
Yeah,
like
this reminds me. This reminds me of all the rewriting of season 8, where all the rewriting was always, without exception, better than season 8 itself of Game of Thrones was.
Including the one that came out before season 8.
Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yes!
A bunch of college students wrote season 8 for fun, made a radio play, put it on YouTube 6 months before the show came out.
Brilliant.
And it was better.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, 2 things. 1, Becca, you rem. Jason's name is not spelled like that. Is Gacen. Gosh. Fuck.
Jacen.
J and G constantly confuse me. But also 2. J.J. Abrams is like that hat creature in Adventure Times in that one episode I watched randomly, where everything it consumes turns to shit. It will take a watermelon and turn it into literal shit.
So
That is
Trevin
J.J.
Armstrong, to answer your question, the video it's actually 6-hour long radio play episodes. Just look up Boston University Game of Thrones owns live adaptation.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately has to go after season 7, which is pretty bad. But but it is actually like pretty good, and it came out way before season 8, which is even funnier to me. Like, if it was like after they had everything to work with, I would be like, oh, you did a really good job. But seeing that it came out before, I'm just like, dang, this just makes Benny F. and White look even dumber.
Yeah.
My D&D is called Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, or Dip
Anyway.
Crap and Dummars.
Yeah.
But yeah, the world building, like the Jedi, like the Republic would not allow, like it's stated explicitly in this movie that Luke went off to create a Jedi temple with like to a Jedi temple to start with a bunch of students to start a new order of Jedi. That would never happen. The rebellion / New Republic would never allow that to happen. They would have them under constant surveillance, like they're precious diamonds.
Yeah.
Ensuring that nothing happened to these people. Because essentially, with the they saw what Darth Vader was able to do. That with one man, with a few Inquisitors, was able to do with the Empire. They would want they would want as many hundreds of Jedi as they could train, and then they would start, and they would like immediately give them military positions. I think that they would understand that the way of the Jedi was stupid in terms of no allowance of social interactions, no interactions with other people, really, no connections with other people, no attachments, and all the stuff that made Anakin vulnerable to Palpatine.
Yeah.
Well done. You don't realize this is doubly correct due to the fact that Luke and Leia have to tell them what Vader was. They're going to have to tell them he was a turned Jedi, which means the Jedi are also a security risk that they might want to make sure never will happen again, because they don't want more Vaders. They will fucking have that be like they will threaten Luke to never let that happen again.
Oh, yeah, this also brings me to something else about the world building that absolutely pisses me off. Anakin Skywalker, where is he? Why is he not stepping in to watch over his freaking grandson I'm sorry, I almost said great nephew. No, that's his grandson that turned to the dark side, and he's worshipping at the altar of Vader. Why hasn't Anakin Skywalker tried to set him correct?
Because they didn't know what to do with Anakin.
Yeah, it just pisses me. It just pisses me off because it's like, what was the whole point of Vader redeeming himself and turning back to the light at the very end of his life? Well, why is it that we're not doing it? You know what? The world building is actually starting to get underneath my skin too.
Yeah, I remember there being one time a comic, I don't know if it was a canon thing or not, but of Anakin going to Leia to kind of like ask for forgiveness and saying that he wouldn't be able to make himself appear to anyone again, and that he had very little time, probably to explain why he doesn't just constantly pop up. It's actually a pretty decent scene, because Leia's like, I can forgive you for a lot of things, but I'm never going to forgive you for torturing Han.
And Leia, that's another thing in the original trilogy. It's a bit of a problem that Leia, like the fact that Leia is Vader's daughter doesn't really have much repercussion for, at least not for her, only for Luke momentarily. But I was also going to say that Kylo Ren is not only looks like an edgy teenager, but he acts like one too.
Yeah.
He grabs his lightsaber. That was mildly amusing, although also bemusing. He goes to temple with his lightsaber.
We can get to that once we start talking about the characters, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a strange decision that I want to kind of ask JJ, what did you think this was going to accomplish?
Well, it scared Alex Shaw, but that's because Alex Shaw is a pissant soy boy who has no concept of who gets scared at everything very easily.
He has a nice accent, though.
It's also a bit like having a villain who can't keep himself under control is not as frightening as one who knows when to restrain himself. Vader was very calm and collected even when angry. That's part of what made him so intimidating.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? There was actually a villain who I know of who had a short temper who was actually done pretty nicely. And his name was Dio Brando. Like, just... Yeah, I'm gonna reference anime and say that JoJo's Bizarre Adventures did this better than friggin' Star Wars did. Like, Dio straight up acknowledged that his temper is a problem that's going to screw him over later on down the line. I'm not sure, I don't remember if it does or not, but the fact that he acknowledges it and he hates it is, yeah.
So... you actually can make a rather terrifying hair trigger temper person. Who here has seen Breaking Bad?
I haven't. It is on my bucket list.
Okay. No specifics, but there is a man who has a hair trigger temper who is a bad guy, and the good guys have, or at least our protagonists, they're not good guys since they're meth dealers, have to do business with him. The way that you make a hair trigger temper person scary is you make the protagonist in some way beholden to or in close proximity to them. That is how you make them scary. When your protagonist is far away from them, and they keep outwitting the hair trigger temper person, it just makes the hair trigger temper villain look incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you could have it also derived from them being a complete and utter narcissist as well. Them getting angry about the fact that somebody dared to defy them, and they just keep sending in even scarier and scarier shit at you.
Imagine Cersei if she were like this powerful Jedi Sith thing.
That's actually really scary. Tana Merriweather and Marjorie Tyrell will be so dead.
But there's also levels of how much you can have them have a short temper because they can show themselves being angry where they're yelling at everything. But if you start making them shoot their own men who have nothing to do with the problem, it's like you're just lashing out at anything or everything. You're not just angry. You're acting like an irresponsible child killing things that are useful to you. You just don't.
Yeah.
That's not a competent thing to do. Having just like, assuming this. Having like someone go really angry and his face is just beet red, but he doesn't actually attack anyone is like, okay, so he's really pissed, but he's not gonna just lash out at anyone or anyone.
It's actually worse. He doesn't kill anybody except Han.
Yeah, he just breaks stuff like a petulant child whenever he gets pissed off.
Breaking his own ship, which we don't know how many they have.
Yeah, it's so stupid because it's just like, you do realize that flesh is so much more replaceable than hardware.
You know
Hardware,
what?
right?
I think Anakin should have appeared to him in a vision and say, I disown you. I was so much cooler a villain than you were. You're a rubbish villain.
Valerian, while that's a nice idea, you got to remember that would mean Disney has to pay Hayden Christensen, and they don't have that.
Well, he's coming back. He's coming back in the Obi-Wan TV series, so
which makes less sense than if he came back in the sequel trilogy.
He's supposed to be deformed by any of those times. The reason his Force Ghost looks like Hayden Christensen is because he's a Force Ghost.
And also because George Lucas did some jiggery-pokery with the original trilogy.
You could
Okay,
use
with all due honesty,
CGI.
I prefer Hayden Christensen being Anakin in that scene, honestly. This is partially because I find him more attractive than Vader's actor.
Well, that's because the original Vader actor was, what, in his 40s or 50s?
Yeah, and bald.
Yeah. Darth Vader didn't. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But that's what's helping him survive. Let's be clear. Darth Vader hasn't been completely killed off. It's just Anakin.
Yeah,
Darth Vader's still intimidating.
Yeah, and it's basically like everybody's going to be systematically murdered by this series at this point. Yeah, his voice was in The Rise of Skywalker very briefly.
Oh, that was so insulting. Bring balance to the Force like I did. It's like, no, you didn't. You did not bring back balance to the Force in the slightest. Like, when you killed Palpatine, nothing really happened. Nothing freaking changed. Snoke just came in, Palpatine came back to life, and Kylo Ren fell to the dark side. And even then, 30 years of preparation wasted. Man, it kind of reminds me of a certain conflict that has recently ended that we spent 20 years on, all for nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring real life into this, but seriously.
Yeah. Anything else on the crap world building? Because we could spend hours on just why the world building is awful. And it's basically built from a singular, stupid idea. Let's replicate New Hope as closely as possible by making the first order of the Empire and making the Resistance its own entity apart from the Republic.
Man, the Resistance should have been a part of the Republic's military.
Yeah, they should have been the commando ops.
Yeah, you have General Leia Organa. She's a freaking war hero. You have Han Solo. He's also a freaking war hero. Why isn't Han Solo in a freaking military uniform commanding the greatest fleet the galaxy has ever seen aboard the most gorgeous and powerful capital ship ever constructed?
Because JJ ended up resetting Han Solo. Because again, JJ doesn't understand context for anything.
Well, yeah, I understand that, aspiring. Yeah. I'm just saying this rhetorically. Like,
I know,
yeah, I agree. TFA was wasted potential. And
so basically,
we haven't even
what
got
you're
into the
saying
new
is,
stuff yet.
So what you're saying is,
so he's an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't like that scene because I like Star-Lord. Great fucking line for this context.
Yeah.
No, but when the context is changed, it really works because you can't hear the music.
that is kind of true. It's like, yeah. That's how everyone reacts to anyone singing with headphones in their ears. They're like, fucking moron.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should probably move on to the new stuff then. The new characters.
Well, I just everything in this the plot. Well, what I have both.
Yes, the Skywalker lightsaber ending up at Maz Cantina. How? An excellent story for another
That was
time.
kind of random. That was kind of random, yeah. It was kind of-
When talking about this movie, I always question, how are the next two worse than this? This is so bad. I don't remember, but I'm like, the other two are worse. I just can't remember it right now. I know they are, but it seems so impossible.
Question: did they ever explain how it was that the lightsaber ended up in the possession of this orange lady?
Yes, they did actually. It was a freaking comic where basically his lightsaber is falling down. Okay, it was loosely cut off from his hand. It was falling into Cloud City trash thing, and some mysterious guy in a hood randomly catches the lightsaber as it falls. It's like, Luke Skywalker, it is time to begin your destiny. It's like, ooh.
Oh, okay, it's in the comic, but not in the films.
Yeah, it's not in the comics. It's in the comics, not the film. And it's a shitty comic.
Yeah, it is never explained ever. There is nothing there. It is basically, except that the lightsaber is there.
There's too much in the films in general, including the prequels, that requires reference to outside material to explain it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If JJ just wanted to introduce a lightsaber into the film, there's a really good way to do this. And that's just have Leia give her own to Han for the mission. Be like, just in case you need this.
Or
that would be better.
Jedi, if we had an old Jedi Master Leia, man, that'd be so great.
That would be kind of cool.
I would have
loved that.
It's just have her have the lightsaber, because obviously she would have done some training, and she gives it to Han because she's not joining, and she wants to make sure he's safe.
Man, that would have been such a sweet moment in the film. Why didn't we get that? Oh, that's right, because...
Anakin's lightsaber! We gotta have the stupid clickbait. We must have people theorizing.
Yes.
We're not going to argue about that, but I remember a bunch of. I remember there were a bunch of examples where Wolf and Neph were saying, "Oh, in the extended universe, blah blah blah," and like, but not in the films, and someone would say no.
So,
but I'm not going to get into all that.
Yeah, but that's what I say. So that's kind of the explanation for this thing, like what you've been saying. Everything in this movie is either a contrivance, mystery box nonsense, or plot hole. Like Snoke, big mystery box.
Yes.
Who is he? Who is this scarred up guy? Why does Kylo respect him? Why does Kylo wear a mask? Why is why is Anakin's lightsaber inside? That's the most blatant one. Why is Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber in the we're talking about Dishonored Wolf.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though: is having Snoke lead the Order even that bad? It ended up turning awful, but just like having this guy be the leader of the First Order, in and of itself, even would have just the Force Awakens, wasn't necessarily bad. He could have been made interesting. JJ didn't actually ruin him in his own movie.
Yeah,
but it just goes nowhere.
I call him.
Go for it. Sorry.
So imagine this guy was one of Emperor Palpatine's consuls or whatever, like one of his counselors who helped him out and guided the Empire and such, and he absolutely just worshipped at the throne of Palpatine. Like, he was a big simp for him, and even learned his evil Sith arts from him as well. And he was trying to basically raise up he was basically trying to recreate the Empire. And he was trying to use Kylo Ren and make him into a new Darth Vader to his Emperor Palpatine. Imagine if that was what was going on.
I call him Snokatine, Except
Yeah,
he's not
or-
even.
They could have done more. Like, the Thrawn novels kind of came at around the same time as the sequels, like the new ones, and they had some interesting stuff in the Unknown Region, and I was hoping they would connect the two. And you just do nothing. Because you have Snoke being in the Unknown Regions. That means there's an entire new world for you to explore, and you do nothing with it.
Yes, that's the greatest. That's the man. Just finding any sort of way to slip Thrawn into the main story would have worked out so much better. I think, if you ask me. But at the
Maybe,
same time,
but
also
again-
great. Yeah, again, these guys are just freaking black
Creativity.
holes of creative thought.
Yeah,
I need
creative
Thrawn. Yeah, I need Thrawn to not be mustache twirler. I need him to be sensible. I need him to be somewhat gray because he's not Palpatine. He actually tries to be he's a good military leader, and he doesn't just like shoot his men for no reason. He does it once, and that's because his men did something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snoke. The best you can say for Snoke is that he's kind of nothing.
That's why I say I would count Snoke in the mystery box nonsense more than I would count him as a plot hole. It's basically go for it.
Mystery box nonsense, maybe, but it's again the kind of thing. It's not necessarily bad. You need a leader for the First Order, and then you have this big mysterious guy, which admittedly is definitely a clone of Palpatine, but he didn't do anything so bad that it couldn't have been something more interesting in the future. The thing is, JJ was just being a setup. I think he was aware that he wasn't going to get another movie and was trying to give people something to work with. It's some of the other stuff, like Kylo's mask and the lightsaber. It's like, that's mystery box nonsense, because you don't have... It's stupid how it ends up there, no matter what.
Also, the Vader mask. The Vader mask is mystery box BS.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because that is never followed up on in any of the other movies.
Oh, was he like... Wasn't he like... Was Kylo Ren like worshipping it or something?
Yeah, he was like, "Please, grandfather, show me the power of the dark side. I'm feeling it to pull to the light."
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about. Forgive me. I'm feeling the pull of the light. I forgot about that. But then you were asking earlier why Anakin didn't turn up then and say, "Hey, dude, knock it off."
Yeah.
You know what? You know what though?
No.
That line about the pull to the light, that kind of makes that theory I said when we were watching it far more valid. You know, if it wasn't just completely ruined.
Guys, look at GR86 comment where replace Hux with Thrawn. Imagine if Rian Johnson treated Thrawn like fucking Hux. I would shoot myself. I would legit fucking shoot myself if he did that. Having Thrawn be like force picked up and thrown, I would be like, no, what are you fucking doing?
So,
And also, another bit of BS. So, Han and fucking Solo, just Chewie and both lose the fucking Falcon. How? Just how?
It was stolen.
How?
It was stolen.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how.
yeah, I think Dunn has already has already put us into a nice little bow. This world building doesn't make any sense. I think do we all want to move on from this? Because I'm actually kind of getting a little sick of it myself.
It's basically just an endless rabbit hole. Like I forgot how bad this movie was.
I mean,
honestly,
my memory's being jogged up right now. I'm like, oh yeah, this movie wasn't that bad though, right? And now the more I remember, I'm like, no, it's worse than you thought.
Yeah, it's like all of these. This is an F grade trilogy. It's just like the Transformers is an F grade movie series.
It really is.
They're both bad. There's no such thing as a good live action Transformers movie other than Bumblebee. Also, there's no good Disney Star Wars movie. Like the best you get is like boringly like somewhat like spectacle ridden empty nonsense like Rogue One.
Yeah.
That was I am still willing to bet that Rogue One was butchered at the at the corporate level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am, and I don't care. I'm gonna forever ever say that Transformers is F grade. Like,
Yep.
Oh god, not this again.
I,
Would you call the first? Would you call the First Order a mystery box contrivance thing too? But I think that goes deeper to world building. But would you also call it a mystery box or a contrivance?
I think that that's. I don't think it's actually. I think it's just rip. I think it's just They're just an Empire clone that doesn't make any sense.
They're Empire turned Schrodinger's game. That's what they are. They don't really fit neatly in these categories. They just fluctuate constantly throughout the films.
Maybe they're all of these problems.
I think
Well, they have several plot holes. So they have several plot holes related to them. Their origins are a mystery that never gets solved, and I'm not sure if you would call them a contrivance.
I think my men are exceptionally trained, programmed from birth. That is absolutely stupid. How long have they been doing this?
seriously, the New Republic are
Also-
turning a blind eye to it all.
Question: why do you constantly keep picking humans? I know the Empire was human-centric, but if you're just kidnapping people to use as human shields, or just a bunch of meat shields and hold guns, I would think you might expand your horizons just slightly.
No, because they would be because the First Order is just an offshoot of the Empire. They would have the same philosophy.
Not necessarily. Part of the reason they were human-centric is because it's easier. Because most beings have their kind of form, and that it's better for a military to have just solely use one. That's why drugs
if you think about it, if you think about it, even the First Order, all they really changed with the First Order was the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it makes sense that they would want to keep that.
I guess. It just seems because partially it's like you have that many humans in the unknown regions to just kidnap.
Yeah, we need to deploy more frog-faced troopers.
Yeah, trying to commit high treason. Yeah, that's a decent line. Yeah, it's a pretty good line. I like it.
I missed that in every watch through except the last one. I swear, in our last watch through, we noticed details that weren't there before.
Yeah, like how okay. Let's get into the next bit of bad. The characters. They are either thin, contradictory, or pointless.
Or basically,
I just remember Captain Phasma existed.
So
I
think
still don't know that plasma existed. I mean, I do and I don't. I mean, I blinked and I missed her. I blinked and I missed her. I think I may have seen her like for 2 seconds at one point.
Yeah.
Granted, I was moving around a lot, but still. So the whole problem is why. Basically, the problem is why are Rey and Finn involved in this business? Because there's no. With Luke, we know why he gets involved. Because Luke is in a similar situation to Rey in the sense that he's on this planet, and he's sort of isolated. But they explain how he gets into it. Why does Rey get into it? Because the android is cute, maybe? I guess that's why she got into it.
it's partially she gets just dragged onto it. That's the problem. She has no agency in this story. She is simply dragged along by both the plot and other characters. She follows BB-8 saying Finn stole this jacket from my owner, go kick his ass. Then she gets shot because she's near Finn and then has to go with him. They fly the ship out, and then she's just following Finn everywhere for some reason interested in this, despite very clearly not wanting to be there and wanting to go back.
But why is Finn involved?
Yeah, you know what? Let's compare this to A New Hope, because this is basically what they're trying to copy over here. In A New Hope, when we are first introduced to Luke Skywalker, we know everything about him almost instantly. I know some idiots would like to say that, oh no, Luke Skywalker has no character, but it's very obvious that he has one. His character is very straightforward. He is impulsive, he is young, He's restless, he seeks adventure, and he's willing to join the Empire if it means he can get off his stupid planet. And the inciting incident that gets him to accept the call is that the Empire kills his family, so now he has nowhere else left to turn. So he turns to freaking Ben Kenobi and tells him, like, this is the important bit. He's the one who's doing this. He's telling him, I'll go with you to Alderaan. There's nothing left for me here.
He also has genetic attraction disorder, clearly.
And there's the amusing bit where Luke asks Ben Kenobi, "Are you? I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was dead." And I think, what does he say? Not that I know of, or not yet. Not yet, I think is what he says.
Yeah.
Like, let me go down Finn's motivations for a second, because I swear something doesn't add up. So we see Finn, and he wants to leave the First Order. Great. He goes with Poe, and then crashes. Great. He has to find somewhere to live, like get water and everything. So he goes and keeps walking until he reaches her outpost, which, by the way, bit of a contrivance. He walks in the correct direction, because he could have missed that.
Yeah,
and
he
just
could
looked
have
a different one.
He could have gone in any direction and just ended up walking for I don't know, a few dozen miles before he dies of dehydration.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'll give them that, though, because that's commonplace in films, literature, and so forth. So I'll give them that.
I would also, and I'm just pointing out, like, yeah, it is technically another contrivance. He goes in the exact direction he needs to survive. So he goes there, and then he gets beat up by Rey after about to help her.
Oh, no,
and then
that's not the contrivance. It's not the contrivance that he found somewhere to survive. It's that he went over to the one location to continue the plot.
Well, both are contrivance. I think he could have went another direction, not even found any place to survive. And the second one is that he happened to go to the one that Rey is on.
Well, yeah.
Both are contrivances. They're different levels. But so he then gets shot at and needs to leave the planet. So they board the ship, leave the planet. What's his motivation then? Because it now seems like he's trying to get to the rebel base. Why?
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Why are Finn and Rey joining the rebels? Assuming they are rebels, why are the rebels even rebels is a bigger problem. We are
just going to call them rebels. TIJ fucking does it.
Yeah, we'll just call them that.
I have an answer for your question over here. So Finn's actually not trying to get over to the rebels. He's just trying to get away from the First Order. Even it explicitly states as much in the film. He just ends up joining the Resistance because the First Order kidnaps Rey.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's not completely true because BB-8 has to tell him the location of the Resistance base for Rey to take them there. Before Holo catches them, that's where they're going to be headed. They were going to go towards that base.
You also got to remember that Finn does know that BB-8 has the map to Luke.
Yes, but he doesn't also seem to care. He was fucking frustrated that Poe wanted to go get it. And we have no reason to believe that he wants to go and give that to them and then disappear. He wants to escape the fight. Joining the Resistance is the exact opposite of that.
So his motivation is inconsistent and unclear. Because
yes. Yeah. At this point, it's like, are you trying to escape or are you trying to help the Resistance and then maybe live out your life? Because you are willing to abandon Rey and everyone and go escape to the Outer Rim later in this movie. You do not care for the Resistance.
Why would he, though?
I will briefly mention Poe. Poe is almost on a level of Plasma in terms of blink and you miss him. What's he do? What does he say? Does he even exist? I guess he does. He does exist, but like for 10 seconds.
Poe is just a little.
He's there for shipping with. He's there for shipping with Finn.
Was he some kind of Han Solo clone thing?
Kind of. He is kind of Han Solo, certain. But here, the Poe's thing is a bit thicker than Plasma, but still not much. Where he wants to get the location of Skywalker, which is in BB-8, to the base. And you know how easily you could fix the Finn problem is just have him feel bad that Poe died helping him, and then he's like, I'll give this to the Resistance and then disappear. It's the least I could do. That is the one fucking thing you could have him say, and it fixes this.
And there's a motive.
Yeah, and it could also explain why you will just go and abandon them once he gives it to Han. It's like, Han can take care of this. I don't need to follow through on it. I've done my part.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought the idea was, that it's kind of like, okay, I gotta take this to the Resistance, then I'm out. And then it's like, oh, here's Han Solo. He can do it for me.
And then Han Solo dies, which is another thing.
But that's a bit later that we're going to.
But I mean,
speak of.
and I may be out by then. But and then Finn was going to just leave it to Han Solo, but since Han Solo's dead.
Hey, I actually have a question. What's Rey's motivation throughout this trilogy?
No one knows.
Actually, I've raised that question earlier a couple of times.
Well, this is something even Mahler says. They spent so much time trying to define her origins that they couldn't even define her.
Yeah, like when we begin the film, what are some character traits? She is tough, strong, independent, and that's it. I guess she's a
desperate
great
for
pilot.
her family to come home and get her. She doesn't care if they're important. She just wants them to come back for her.
And
that's it. Rian Johnson, you are a moron. You didn't even watch this movie properly.
Yeah.
I can't comment on that.
Something you can do to tell how well made a character is if you can put them in a unique situation, you can tell how they would respond. With Rey, you don't have that because she doesn't have much. The only thing you will say is that she'll probably be nice as possible.
Yeah,
and that she will immediately be
context for. We don't have a motivation. We don't have much of a context. It's like she's like a female version of Luke Skywalker, but without the context or the motivation.
See, that's what bothers me. They kind of set Rey up to be like the Han Solo character, in my opinion, because she comes from nowhere. She has a knack for flying, but not only that, Solo the movie ironically kind of helps this narrative that she should have been the Han Solo character, while Finn should have been the Luke character.
And that's what a lot of people assumed.
That's what I assumed going into the film, by the way, that Finn would be our trilogy's Jedi. I was like, and of course, like I said, when I was much younger, I saw this, I was like, wow, we're going to have a Black Jedi. This is going to be great. And he was a former Stormtrooper, too.
Gonna have a Black Jedi. Mace Windu wants words with you.
Yeah, I know. I was naive and stupid back then.
A Black Jedi who's like a main character rather than a side character.
Yeah,
which is fun and cool in itself.
Yeah. Y'all are fucking racist. It's not the fact that he's black; it's the fact he was a bad guy.
Like I said, when my brain finally finished developing,
which it still hasn't.
Yeah.
Never mind all that.
You beat me to my own punchline. Thank you. Now, like I was saying, the thing that made Finn he's like the best character in this film, like hands down. And the reason for that is because of the nuance and complexity he brought to the table just by his sheer existence in the universe. The only problem is that they seem to have forgotten that, like, immediately after that scene where we realized that when we humanized this stormtrooper, all of a sudden, we completely forgot that stormtroopers are people, like Finn is.
I don't think I would call Finn the best character. He contradicts himself far too much because they don't know how to do nuance.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one with a visible character arc. Like, he's like
for all of 20 seconds.
Yeah.
He had perhaps more potential than any of the others.
Okay, he one has most central, and honestly, actually, he has the most character because he actually does have a very clear motivation.
He's running away from the First Order because he doesn't want to kill for them. He doesn't want to become like one of his buddies who just shot up a village full of innocent people. And eventually he turns he's just spending the entire movie running away from the First Order until eventually he has to stand up for his friends and take on the literal embodiment of the First Order, which, hilariously enough, is this absolutely hilarious man-child known as Kylo Ren.
Angsty teen on steroids and
So-
fucking dark.
edgy
Play-
teenager. Edgy
Plays-
teenager.
He
Plays the
doesn't even
clip
do
where
anything
he-
edgy. He doesn't do that much that's edgy.
Well, he
What do
wears
you
his
mean? His
mask and he-
mask is edgy. His clothes are edgy. His fucking tantrums are edgy.
he doesn't tantrum with a lightsaber. That's edgy.
You know what's
That
even
is-
funnier?
That's
What?
not edgy. That's
Don't contradict your
posing.
betters. Don't contradict your betters, young man.
I
Okay,
have two
boomer.
words for you.
Bring it on.
Bring
All three
what
words
I
on?
love that one too much. You love that one way too much.
Yes, I do. I love it quite a bit.
And also, let me be clear: best character in this is either Leia or BB-8. Probably BB-8.
I like BB-8. BB-8 is cute.
Yeah.
He's the only thing that isn't ruined in this movie.
You know,
So
Space Junk over here has a very great comment.
Finn was a slave, and they made him black and simp for a white woman. Keck.
Keck.
Yeah,
What does keck
You see,
mean?
great.
it means laugh.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, black people get to rap about white people. You all know this.
Well, it's kind of referencing the idiotic commentary that I've heard on King Kong. That's basically just allegorical for a black man wanting a white woman.
I mean, if considering the context of the time in which that film was made, you wouldn't
Even
be
when-
wrong in thinking that.
Even when
Yeah.
the director says that it's not about that it was just an escapist just escapism.
Are we
Okay,
talking
fair
about the
enough.
original? Are we talking about the original film or the later film?
The original.
Yeah.
You think they will do anything like that in the new ones? Fucking hell. They will have people. I'm pretty sure they have people just looking out for that stupid shit. Just to say,
Yeah.
oh, this has the potential of looking like this. Fuck off.
They'll have sensitivity gaugers.
Okay, so you could have just taken my my take over there for a grain of salt, because I did actually get that from Red from Overly Sarcastic Productions. I've been informed that she has terrible takes.
She is someone who said Rey wasn't a Mary Sue, but this was admittedly before TLJ. But it's still stupid of her to say, and it's
Oh, yeah,
partially
no,
because she is
actually-
biased as fuck.
Oh,
Who said
actually,
this?
Red.
Red from OSP, Overly Sarcastic Productions.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Go.
Rey's absolutely a Mary Sue in the latter half of this film. Like, it's brazenly obvious in the latter half of this film. The first half of
Yeah.
it, it's more subtle, and you can forgive it a bit. Like,
Yeah.
for example, her piloting skills and the first scene where she starts flying. Yeah, sure, she messes up a little bit on the takeoff, but then halfway through she's doing maneuvers and tricks that only Han Solo has done with a ship. Which
But
is,
then
Yeah,
she's
no,
doing.
I know.
Then she's doing. Sorry. Then she's doing force. Pardon me interrupting. Then she's doing force. Oh, shut up. Anyway. then she's doing. It's probably either a spam or worse. Anyway.
It's those hookers. They're coming after you. They want you.
They want their
Okay.
money.
Oh, I better change my identity and move out of this. I gotta move out of this flat pronto. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say what you're trying to say. Then she starts using force powers that only Jedi Masters have used.
She uses force suggest, and it takes her like a few seconds to do it. She doesn't succeed right away, granted, but still, she uses force suggest, and then she's using lightsabers, and what else? There's like a million other force things that she does.
Well, first start, she
She
was
does force pull
She was
on the lightsaber
yeah.
that
so
Kylo
she's-
Ren is trying to force pull. The man who's actually trained.
Oh,
and
you
can-
forgot the most important part: the interrogation scene, where she reverses the interrogation on Kylo Ren.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
That's where we find out that he just looks like an edgy teenager.
That's when we just realize that he's an edgy tryhard who's just trying to replicate Darth Vader. And it's like, wow. Kylo Ren is basically can be looked at as a metaphorical figure. He represents the sequels trilogy and their horrible attempts at trying to replicate the original trilogy without ever truly understanding what made them so great in the first place.
See, it's deep meta commentary. This is a masterpiece. This film is a masterpiece.
Yes.
It's a masterpiece of Dada cinema.
Well, yes, that it counts.
Like Freddy Got Fingered, where you have a newborn baby being swung around by its umbilical cord by a man who clearly has mental issues because he cannot relate to other people.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah. Hey, Dan, put up that Benzo comment for a minute.
This one? Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what am I saying? When the stuff in this is from a book, and so the film doesn't even get this. But this is what they're trying to do to explain the stupid shit. It is that bad that in the attempt to explain it, they come up with something possibly worse. You can't explain this stuff in these movies. It's that irreparable. No context will fix that scene. This will honestly make the universe broken.
I remember some Star Wars theories suggesting that that Rey could have been a wound in the Force, much like Darth Nihilus was, and that could explain why she's, doing the things that she's doing, and why her Force abilities are the way they are.
Well,
Or she
here's
was
the thing.
a double.
A dyad.
I wish. Traven, that's not a weird fanfic film. That's an actual film that was released to theaters and was made by human beings other than myself.
What was it? What were we talking about just before this shit? There was something I had to say. Right, wound in the Force. Not with how Rey is done. You can make an interesting thing of super powerful Force user who uses their powers without even trying, but that would require a journey of learning to restrain and control her powers, which is not something they attempt to do.
That might actually be interesting.
Oh yeah,
Then
definitely.
Maybe she needs to be trained to. Maybe she needs to be trained to restrain her powers, not to use them, but to restrain them, channel them.
Yeah, both require training, but for different reasons. One's the training to get more power, and one is using to control that power and not harm people around you.
Yes.
Boy, this sure
They don't
sounds
do
like...
both.
I gotta be blunt with you guys, as per usual. I am so bored beating this dead horse once again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a great reminder to just how far this franchise has fallen. And
No, this is not how far it's fallen. This is just the beginning. There is some Mandalorian and Visions is absolute cringe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Freaking Visions was not great. The first episode was okay, and then the rest were just bad.
Let me be clear. When Tarek suggested Visions at the end of last stream, and I was considering it for a moment, I had not seen any of it, and I was thinking,
wait, what? I didn't. Hold on, back up. This is slander.
You
I would
jokingly
never suggest Visions.
You jokingly suggested it, and I seriously
now I remember.
Because I've watched such cringe. I could surely survive this with 3 or 4 other guys. Then someone showed me 1 minute of one random episode of that show, and I died. I'm like, fuck this. I will never be chained down to a desk and forced to watch this. I will kill myself. It is that fucking terrible.
Is it Game of Thrones season 8 bad, Mandalorian bad, or is it
someone gets cut in half by a lightsaber that's as long as a fucking planet and doesn't die and just has a gem.
What?
I don't fucking know. They just showed me this 3 best moments of Star Wars Visions video and skip to a timestamp, and then I see someone with this long-ass lightsaber capable of cutting a Star Destroyer in half, go into hyperspace, spouting off cringe like, there is no try, only do, and then cuts the girl in half, the Grievous girl, and she doesn't die, she gets a gem cut off, and she's alive and breathing in space. Both are breathing in space, and I'm just losing my fucking mind.
Do you hear the best part, Aspiring? Do you hear the best part?
What?
Not only was she alive and in one piece, but the droid that saved her was wearing on a helmet. Like,
Oh my
a
goodness.
air helmet.
Oh, you know what?
What? No! No!
The
No!
droid had to wear a helmet in space to survive, but not the humans.
I would, immediately, he's Replica Chap's in a hurry. I need to go on my walk shortly anyway.
Okay.
But what was I going to say about? Oh god. Oh, it sounds like the magic trip of cutting a woman in half. You know.
She never got cut in half. That's the crazy part. She was.
I know.
She was touched by it.
I don't understand. Also, what cringe is happening? I thought Star Wars anime. I thought this is gonna be bad. This is even worse than that. Jesus Christ.
Aspiring. We're gonna need to. You need to visit your therapist sometime soon, my dude. You sound like you've been traumatized or something.
Oh, Bright Lord
I've
Chap.
died multiple times in the past
Bright
few
Lord
days.
Chap.
Yes.
I think you need to do your camel thing or your llama thing again because he says, "Bring me on." So
Yeah.
Bring it on.
did you already get that bit? Bring me on. Maybe I lost it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Yep.
I did.
I'm done. Please play that as a reaction to Replica and Vision's vote.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, boy.
Bring it. I am going to eat you, he says.
I dare
You
you
know
to
what?
fucking try. Because at
I'm
this
gonna
point,
I
I
could get
want to
Replica? Replica, I'm gonna put you in a hole you're not gonna be able to climb your way back out of.
Ow.
Sound of Ferric rolling up his sleeves. This will be entertaining, although I'll have to go on my walk, so I'm going to miss it all.
I will do you one better. I will throw him in a fucking black hole. I just watch him disappear and stretch into the thinnest of noodles.
I will
Okay.
deconstruct you. I will deconstruct you with a postmodern Dadaist film.
What the fuck
I will
is
call
this?
it The Force
WWE?
Awakens. What's it, Brett?
Fucking
Terry?
no.
What'd you say?
Come
My
on,
brain.
Aspiring. That's way too merciful. Just throwing it into a black hole, they die instantly. They barely feel anything. Nah, what you
I
need to
don't-
do is that you need to introduce them to some mustard. That's what you need to do.
Oh god.
Yes, that's kind of mustard.
I've
Okay.
had my cells disassemble several times from several shows. Why the Last Man, the fucking What If cringe. I've been doing those with friends and dying inside. And somehow I thought nothing could truly kill me anymore after the numbness inside me. And then I saw
Dude.
30 seconds of this and just fucking lost any humanity I had within me.
Dude, the
Okay,
last
Harvey.
What If I remember seeing was What If Killmonger saved Tony Stark, and that made me feel physical rage while watching it.
I fucking laughed because I could recognize the writer from previous episodes.
Now,
When
Okay.
when you're that bad, you deserve to just die.
Okay, pardon me, but I need to take my walk, and Replica Film badly wants to come on. So,
Yes. Goodbye.
so I will.
See you later.
look,
I will
take care,
see you a
buddy.
lot later. And the films are postmodern masterpieces, so yeah.
Okay, let's see where Replica filmed over here.
Yeah.
Nice to say.
Please play that when he joins. I beg of you, Brian.
Let me. I'm trying to.
Make an
I'm trying
MP4.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm just downloading it right now.
I can have it. I already have it downloaded. I can give it to you.
Man, freaking.
I'm just
Captain
downloading it.
Phasma.
Yeah, she's pointless.
Yeah,
She's utterly
I
pointless.
I keep forgetting that she was even in this film, cause yeah,
What is the
She
point?
is.
What
You
is
first.
the point of this? This horse again. has been beaten into dog food.
Yeah, honestly, we could probably just end the stream right over here if done wants to, because
No, Herrick. We've beaten this horse, but now we're getting something new. We're getting a challenger.
okay.
A challenger appears.
I'm getting a challenger.
He said he wanted to eat
yeah,
me. This is both okay?
Well, there's also kind of like we talked a little about Kylo. We've talked about Kylo throughout. He sucks. He's a terrible villain, and the worst part is he loses at the end. Also, he apparently has better constitution than a bunch of frick. What is it? A bunch of stormtroopers with armor, and he got shot in the side by Chewie's bowcaster.
And then he's smacking himself in the wound
in order to make himself angrier.
Honestly, I thought that was him trying to like dull the pain, because that's what
I thought too.
Yeah, same.
But like the books, I think say what Dunn's saying, but honestly, in the film, it just comes off as him trying to be like, stop hurting, stop hurting, stop hurting.
Yeah. Well, we have our friend in the chat in the back room. Let's bring him on.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Well, you know what? You know what? The fact you played that part of the theme song was kind of the cherry on top of that, wasn't it?
You may all thank me.
The vengeful man.
Derek.
What do you want, brother?
Brother, I think the prequels are good, and Brave Farmers is not bad. I'll kick your ass.
Well,
Bayform. Please explain why Bayformers. Okay, okay.
All right, aspiring writer. I will explain to you why you're wrong. So, the episode 3 from Star Wars Visions was made in the style of like Dragon Ball Z or some shit, and the rules of that episode just do not give a fuck about any of the rules of Star Wars, and it's just its own thing. So, with what they were doing, that he has a lightsaber with a kyber crystal from like a cannon that's supposed to be able to blow up a fucking planet. It's totally understandable that he can cut through a ship because it's like essentially a super ultra lightsaber. And I know that the Holden maneuver is utterly retarded, but if you have like a super saber and then go like really fast over a ship, then you would create that effect basically. So like, and if you look very closely, you can see that he angles the saber in such a way that it doesn't cut her in half, but instead like specifically cuts like the part of her armor that like is gonna like kill her. So like episode 3, despite being like crazy over the top, actually makes sense.
That's actually that description that you have just said makes it sound even dumber.
I'm going to actually object really quickly. I was watching that episode. It's still fresh in my memory. There was no indicator that he angled his lightsaber such that it would avoid.
Okay. Like you guys are like really laggy. I don't know why.
I think that might be a you problem. It might be your internet or something.
Like everybody's coming out.
Hold on. Let me close down some tabs.
Okay.
Because I cannot hear you guys for the life of me right now.
People use that internet.
No, I don't think it's my internet. Well, either that or my internet is just fucking up.
So, okay. One thing that I've been interested in is, the sequel trilogy, I maintain that they are not as bad as Transformers.
Oh my god.
No, I pound for pound, if we compare movie to movie, they're worse.
Oh, that's what's glitching it. It's because it wants me to fucking update my NVIDIA thing. All right, hold on. I'm just put NVIDIA on the sideline for a second. You guys could do it.
That's literally the reason why that's that whole defense is just stupid because I'm gonna tell you straight up. Suspension of
All
disbelief.
right, I'm gonna just restart my PC real quick. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right, he'll be back. You hear that, guys? You heard it here first. He'll be back.
By the way, that no thing was me. For everyone
Yeah.
in the audience who wondered, that was me. I need it back.
But to your point, Dunn, I still maintain that unironically, Star Wars has done far more damage than Bayformers could have ever done.
Yes, actually, I agree with that take because the Star Wars movies are absolutely the new canon. Like this is like the cold hard facts, and this stuff is destroying what came before. Whereas the Bayformers, you can
ignore the movie.
Yeah, you can just pretend they don't exist. I pretend they don't exist. And there's plenty of other Transformers media that's actually good that you can watch and enjoy. This, however, this is the only place to get your Star Wars fix. And it's bad. So
something even worse is that
it's also
everyone disregarded.
It's also ruined online discourse worse than
Oh,
Transformers
yeah.
ever did. I don't disagree with you on those points. I just think that like if I'm like assessing them just as movies, like yes, the sequels ruin more, but like the Bayformers like has worse elements in them than
Oh
the
no.
sequels do.
Like you said, this is an F grade movie, but it has grade A budget, like grade A money behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, it's just people think the sequels are good. There's people who genuinely believe this, and when you try to talk with them, they end up just acting fucking retarded because they don't actually know how to argue their own point. They have fucking corrupted people into accepting bullshit in movies, while Transformers has been considered so dumb that nobody cares for it. Everyone, even people who like it, accept it as dumb. The sequels portrayed and the sequels pretend to have substance to them, and people are stupid enough to believe it and will fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like utterly ruined online discourse where like idiots like Alex Shaw will say that Force Awakens is better than Empire.
I don't get how people really think this. It's like, can you watch these movies?
I was on a Discord with someone, and she straight up told me that that the sequel trilogy is better than A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Like she unironically believes that, and she straight up says that Luke Skywalker didn't have a character, Rey did. She didn't want to watch quote unquote old men fighting with sticks, and I'm like, that is like 5 seconds or a minute of screen time from A New Hope. And that was nowhere even close to what was going on in Empire Strikes Back. It's like they had the best choreography.
You tell her then. Well, I don't want to be watching women fight with sticks because she was literally fighting with one.
Okay. It's
hold on. I'm not done.
Well, you were certainly not me.
I'm putting you in the ground next, I swear. Anyway,
go ahead.
Here's what you should have said. Well, watching the original trilogy is like watching an NBA game with like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. Watching the sequel trilogy is like watching the WNBA.
Wow, I would have been banned from her server if I said shit like that. Just
so. You know what? Are you really losing anything by being banned?
Admittedly, no.
It's like when you have people legit just say when you just mention a plot hole.
I look like he's still loading. I look like the fucking mouth of Sauron. This is stupid. All right.
Why are your camera on?
Yeah.
And why are you in shadow?
I am the shadow. I am all the shadow. That's always going to be the best line in Star Wars ever.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like the best like fanfic line. All right. So as you can see, I clearly like match Tarek in like handsomeness. Anyway, what were you guys talking about?
I was last mentioning how some chick that I know said that the sequel trilogy is better than A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, which
If I said it's better than A New Hope, then well, I don't know. I don't want to. Well, maybe that guy's just from an alternate dimension where Episode 8 is like way better.
I mean, even the fact that even you, the guy who's going to try to defend the Force Awakens or whatever.
Well, it's Force Visions, Star Wars Visions.
Yes. The fact that you, the person who's going to be defending that, is admitting that the sequels is kind of bad, and that tells me everything I need to know.
It's just.
I would also like to explain to you really quickly my objections with Episode 3 of Visions, and that is that okay, first off, this is a superficial thing that really doesn't matter. But
hold on. I don't know why this is happening. Every other time it went like completely smoothly, but for whatever reason, like you guys just like I had this like earlier where it just lagged to shit. Well, I mean, I can hear you enough, I guess. So just try and talk like a robot, like just Star Wars Visions 3 is bad.
Replica.
Okay.
Could I suggest that you try and just listen through the stream? You'll be behind a few seconds, but you should hear us quickly.
That's a fucking terrible idea because then I'm gonna talk through you when you're actually talking.
Well, you wait for one of us to stop talking.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I'm making suggestions here.
Well, I think that just like your internet's just bad or something. That might be the problem.
Just like Visions Episode 3.
All right.
So
go ahead and talk about Visions 3.
So there's a few. There are some topics that I really am interested to hear your thoughts on. Replica, first, explain Force Awakens and why you hate it. I'm interested.
All right. So, Force Awakens. Now,
maybe turn off your camera. That might help.
Yeah, it is eating up internet.
Okay, that might be true, but I don't think that's it because.
Well, try it and see if it does. You can always turn it back on.
Okay. How do I turn it off?
Button on the bottom. There you go. Oh, you stupid. You know what? No. There you go. There you go. He turned it off.
You just do stop cam, I guess.
I love Replica.
There.
All right. Well, all right. So basically, like, no, it's more. I don't care. So basically, like, the bottom line is that, like it was like the way how in like tune I am with like popular culture right now is like way more than like it's like this is back when I was like still a teenager and shit. Like, God, it's been a long fucking time. But basically, like 2014, if you remember, that's when Gamergate happened and all that shit. So,
oh my God, we're going here already?
2015?
That's amazing.
That was 2014, my dude.
I heard about it in 2014. But regardless, the point is like shit like feminism and stuff was going crazy back then. So like when my uncle tells me like they killed the EU, so fuck them. And then the trailer, you know, like basically looks like a complete, like, you know, politically correct, like trash fire. You know, it's like, it's obvious, like that, like, it's obvious it's going to be like a dumpster fire. Now, I would have never have guessed that it would have been as bad as it actually ended up being. I was expecting like mediocre or like okay quality movies that were just without soul. But instead, they were just like the worst garbage you have ever seen in your life. But yeah, I would say like the main reason why I already hated it before it was even a thing was because of the EU thing. Because like my uncle is like a massive EU fan, like the biggest you have ever seen in your life. So like when I was like, hey, shall we watch the new Star Wars movie? It was like, no. They killed the EU. They disrespect like the fans. They disrespect like George Lucas and everything. And it's like, fuck them. That's basically like also the reason why we never watched TLJ or something like that, because we were basically off the train before it ever even got there. You know, like it. I mean, I guess it like to most people it's a little hard to believe, but really, if you pay attention, like really pay attention, like you were looking at, you know, what Disney was doing with Star Wars and all that stuff, like where they ended up going was not okay. The severity of how bad, that nobody could have foreseen that, but it wasn't like that surprising that, you know, their movies turned out as soulless, you know, cash grab, like fan pandering bullshit. Because like really, what like soulless
Wait, I gotta
corporation.
stop you there.
Yeah, this is not fan pandering.
No, I was about to say fan pandering. What the hell are you talking about?
What OT, like the original trilogy fans pandering.
I did. Okay, I would have loved to have felt pandered to.
Same.
I wasn't. In fact,
no, look. If the criticism of the Star Wars prequels, like it basically amounts to, you know, just like why is it not like the OT? Like what the original trilogy fans wanted was not like a soulless remake of the OT, but everything they were saying was basically alluding to that. That's all they ever wanted. So that's what JJ did, being one of them. That's the movie he made. Can I
ask you something? I apologize to interrupt, but I want to clarify what you're saying. Are you saying Disney took the wrong message about what people wanted?
Definitely. I mean, like, you know, like
okay.
I mean, that's for sure. But I mean, like, it's undeniable that there's a certain amount of fans like J.J. Abrams who believe that they know better what Star Wars is than George Lucas, and just wanted basically just Indiana Jones. Like there's a certain amount of Star Wars fans who think Star Wars is just Indiana Jones in space.
I've never heard that.
Never have I. Especially
they don't say that, but that's basically
then nobody says it.
Well, their opinions come down to that.
No, how? If nobody's saying that,
are you just thinking that because people will sometimes quote the two as being Lucasfilm because of those are like its two most popular.
I'm
movies?
Talking about like the Mr. Plinkett types and stuff like that. Like
that actually has good points. I'm sorry.
Like the 70s and 80s kids who because like they're it's undeniable. Like there's a certain amount of like fans, quote unquote, of Star Wars who never really understood or respected the higher, you know, elements, the more spiritualistic stuff. Like they really just saw the movies as just some like adventure shit, and that's why like a lot of the complexity of the prequels just went straight over their heads, because like they were like, why is all this why is politics and bullshit like that in our movies? Well, it never occurred to them that is like it's like there's like multiple layers to Star Wars, right? You know, adventure, philosophy, you know, the mythology, all types of shit. They only got the first one, and then when the prequels like expanded on all of them, they were like, "What the fuck's going on here? Why are all these other things in the movies?" Like it's just like they're just idiots.
Well, what I think is that JJ JJ is a panderer, is the thing. Ryan Johnson's the one I would say might be a bit pessimistic. JJ definitely likes to pander to people because he wants people to like what he's making. I will hate him forever, but that's what he tries to do. He's really bad at it.
What I hear from just about everyone is that they like The Force Awakens in like the beginning. Like, and I'm not saying that because they liked it, you know, I'm not saying that you guys wanted that, but I'm just saying that like The Force Awakens is that perfect like The Force Awakens is basically like a testament to why only like, you know, someone like George Lucas, like I'm not saying only George Lucas can make a good Star Wars movie, but like someone like George Lucas who's in visionary, like it's basically a testament to why they can do it, because The Force Awakens, like on first viewing, you know, I guess except if you're not me, you know, or someone like me who just like knows that this is going to be bad. Like everybody's like in the first few days, they're like, "Oh, that was great," but then if they think about it more, they're like, "Oh, this fucking sucked." Some people knew immediately, but like the thing is, like, it was designed to be this thing that would initially at least be light, and then, like, you know, upon further, like, that's how JJ made it. Like, you know, JJ, he loves his mystery boxes. Like, the way how JJ makes his movies is like how, like, TV shows do their gimmicks, where, you know, they try and trick you into thinking that the plot is more impressive than it is, but then it's not. But then by the time you figure that out, you've already watched the third movie and he's won, and you bought all tickets. That's how J.J. Abrams makes his fucking movies. And that's like that's the thing that I guess a lot of people just struggle, like, accepting, that, you know, his movies really are just hollow by definition, because that's the kind of person he is, basically.
Yeah, I think part of the success is also just the lack of Star Wars. For so many years, people were very hyped to have anything, and JJ knows how to get people to like his shit, at least for a little while.
As the oldest person here, I can honestly say that was the case, because we hadn't had Star Wars contents in literally a decade. In fact, when I was cleaning out my my bookcase the other day, I found a Time magazine saying Revenge of the Sith was the last movie ever. So, you know, jokes on that. But that's the thing. We were all...
It's the last movie ever. The new ones are not canon.
Star Wars. Anyways.
The new ones are not canon.
No, it's the last movie ever. Afterwards, they stopped making movies. Anyways.
Yes, exactly.
That's the point is, people were wanting new Star Wars content. I mean, yeah, you had the Clone Wars and everything, but you know what? We wanted another live-action movie. So... like everybody else, when I first saw The Force Awakens, I clapped like a trained seal. But then I saw it for a second time, and then I started to realize a lot of stuff something isn't right here. A lot of stuff ain't working. And then I saw Last Jedi, and I immediately knew something was wrong.
Well, you see, here's the thing. Like, not to, like, make you feel bad or anything, but basically, like, with the game JJ was playing, he basically already won. Because if you only figured it out by the time Last Jedi, he already raked you for your money for TFA. And Last Jedi.
Here's the thing. I do not feel bad about it. I never feel bad about spending my own money.
It's not that much money, of course, but like the thing is, like, I don't know, the hierarchy of people figuring shit out is always, like, there's always a delay to it. You got people like me who figured it out immediately.
Oh, because truly you are the height of human intelligence.
Like, no, Replica, first off,
I'm just saying,
part of it is
that,
like
I knew it was going to be bad before it came out, right? Like,
yeah, because you came into it prepared for that due to news you heard before. So the part of the reason it might take others longer, we go in and just kind of neutral, and then we take time to be like, where is this?
Guys, what I'm saying is that, like, collectively, like, JJ managed to get like 2 billion from, like, the masses, for like, in revenue, while really, if everyone, like, had, you know, been as informed about the shit as we did, he would have probably only made a couple 100,000.
No, a couple 100,000. No, it has the Star Wars name attached to it.
But that's like part of it. Like, it was it was basically the cinematic equivalent of, like, a guaranteed super hit.
Yes, so it would have made $1 billion regardless.
If literally everybody knew what he was doing, like, they fully comprehended it, then they wouldn't have paid him, because they'd just be like, "Oh, you made fucking garbage."
No, I think you overestimate just how many people care.
No, I'm saying, like, if they comprehended fully, you know, like, they just entirely understood it. Because, like, a lot of people are just like, what are you fucking talking about? It's just a movie. Bleh.
Yeah, you know? That's how most people view things. Like, some people have more of a connection to things, and that's why they want quality content. That's the thing. Like, you will never get more people to care than you will people who are passionate. There will always be that divide.
Indeed.
Because most people don't have the energy to care. They want to go to a theater, they want to enjoy the spectacle on the screen, and they want to go home and say, hey, you know what? That was a great use of an evening. I enjoyed myself during the evening.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I do think that most people, like they tend to, because, like, I mean, like, Game of Thrones. No offense, guys. Game of Thrones was popcorn fucking trash for the longest time, and it was, actually no, it was like disposable. Well, okay, the masses watched it, like everybody watched it, right? Like
it was good.
Like when they watched season 8, it's not like everybody was like, "Well, I didn't understand why the characters did what they did, but I liked it anyway." Like, no, most people were just like, "Fuck this, fuck this."
So,
So the masses are not completely stupid. It just needs to be really obviously horrendous before they catch
stupid.
on.
They are stupid.
So I would say that, I think that it was popcorn trash from season 5 onward. But it was actually it was very sophisticated for seasons 1 through 4 because they were following the books fairly closely because George R. R. Martin is a smart writer.
When did season 5 come out?
Season 5 came out in 2015.
So right when TFA came out.
So Blame of Thrones predicted in 2016, which was basically when the show started to get shit. All right.
Content started getting shit around 2015 to 2018.
Yeah, there's a video called Blame of Thrones that basically predicts it's all going to hell 4 years before it actually happens.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of people Order of the Green Hand, Preston Jacobs, etc., who were saying that season 5 was crap. Dragon Demand said it was crap, and then season 6 came out, and it was just this is almost as bad. There's been slight improvements, but it's still bad. But the problem is basically a lot of people were interested. Hey, they had a few good seasons. Maybe this was a one-off, and then they realized no, this is not a one-off.
The problem with brands or series is that you get a lot of investment and you get a lot of goodwill, and some people will follow that goodwill blindly for a long time before they're finally beaten down enough that they're like, "Fuck this! I cannot handle it anymore." Well, Star Wars had this, and Game of Thrones had this. And
the simple fact of the matter is that Dave and Dan and J.J. Abrams, they're all cut from the same cloth. They're rich kids. They are sons of rich. Well, okay, yeah, they are rich kids who have no actual, real, true, genuine talent, and just sort of leech off the success of other people. They are.
Hey, stop describing me.
They are. They are like the Hollywood
trust fund babies.
They are parasitic writers.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it on stream because it's too politically incorrect, but they're part of a tribe of people that, the stereotype the stereotype says they can't make anything creative, and whether that's true or not, I leave up to you. But they are certainly reinforcing that stereotype for sure.
That just white males can't write.
Okay,
white males can't write.
I'm going to bring this up right now. That is not true because one of the things about modern superhero lore or modern superhero mythos comes from a lot of Jewish writers.
No, I'm saying it's a stereotype, and they make the stereotype worse because they're actually it. You know what I mean?
But you also but you said you will leave it up.
I'm not going to let this become a big thing. I'm just saying it's a stereotype that they have made worse by just being the living embodiment of it.
Oh crap! You're right. Benioff is Jewish.
Ow! No. I did not expect that we'd be talking.
We'd be doing the Jewish question. I didn't think so either.
Yeah.
As a resident Jew, Tarek, please speak.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's just something that I know about. It's
something you know about.
Let's just say that I've been trained to be able to tell when that happens, but it's nothing nefarious, I promise.
I got just the thing for this. So you're telling me I will learn to read their early life history on Wikipedia. By the time I'm done, you won't have to.
What?
It's a 4chan meme. It's about whether when you read somebody's early history on Wikipedia, there's always was raised by a Jewish mother or father.
yeah, that kind of stuff. But it's like it's that kind of like stereotype that like that to a certain degree is true. Like J.J. Abrams, like the fucking hell, like he's just every single fucking movie he makes is either like a sequel to something else, or it's like a movie that's like based so much on another movie you can basically call it plagiarism. Like it's like I wonder how much skill he actually has.
Well,
like and
Ryan,
I mean, like, fucking hell, his mystery box, like, template for making films is just terrible.
Yeah, Becca,
Like-
that's what I was thinking.
Who's talking? Is somebody talking? I don't...
No. Becca's in the chat, and
What the fuck is happening?
do
I
you not
don't know,
know there's
Becca.
a comment
Well,
section?
I was going to say at least Ryan Johnson doesn't have the excuse that he's Jewish. He's actually Christian.
yeah. I mean,
that is-
but I mean, like by that thing, I would say that Ryan Johnson's probably like the better like filmmaker than the two. Like,
Okay.
Um,
I mean, like it's like when his
He's a
film
worse
is not.
writer.
Oh, okay, you guys gotta understand, right? Like when we talk about Ryan's skill as a filmmaker, like I feel like he would mostly have to like ignore The Last Jedi because that is a movie that like takes the blame for the bullshit in The Force Awakens and like the bullshit in its own movie.
Now, hold on there.
It's taking the backlashes of two films.
No,
It's not.
No, it's
hold
not.
on.
at
No, it
all.
is.
Ryan Johnson
Let me finish.
and
Let me
Guild-
finish.
Oh.
Let me finish. You see, here's the thing, though. Ryan Johnson had more setup than anyone could have ever asked for. In all honesty, when you're
What are you
playing
talking
second,
about? JJ like
Every-
murdered all of the setup.
No.
with his bullshit.
no. In fact, if nothing else, JJ left everything so open you could have done anything
That's
because
what he wants you to think.
that's what he. Are you
Yo,
fucking kidding me?
Snow could
Okay,
have been
look,
done more with.
guys,
the
listen.
lightsaber could have been
I
done
am
more
not
with.
fucking
All the
saying-
characters could have been done more
I'm
with.
not
The
fucking
lightsaber
saying
strike
that
to the
Ryan
back
is a
could have
good
been done more
filmmaker,
with.
okay?
We're-
I'm not saying Ryan is a good fucking filmmaker. I'm just saying
Nobody's-
he's better than JJ.
No, he's not because Ryan had carte
Listen, you're just
blanche
not
for-
informed, man. Go watch
I'm
Star
not-
Wars
Shut the
Apocrypha.
fuck up!
Replica,
Shut the fuck up and do not ever use that counter again. I keep hearing it from you. Please make an argument and do not just say we don't know what we're talking about. For the love
Replica.
of God.
I
Star Wars
studied
Apocrypha.
film. Replica. I studied film in college. I studied writing in college. I studied a lot of things in college relating to media like this. I am more informed than you will ever be. Ryan had more opportunity than JJ ever did because Ryan was the answer to JJ's question. He could have done anything with everything JJ set up, but every choice Ryan made was the wrong one. He
You have to
did
preserve the mystery box.
no,
you don't have to preserve the mystery box.
Especially since JJ didn't even know he was coming back. He thought a third director would take over.
Yeah,
So
well, that's-
again, Ryan had carte blanche over all this.
Yeah.
You're,
Like,
you're,
also-
you're making it
to
out
give a
like,
good example,
like
to
JJ
give-
gave the thing to Ryan without any like thing to like work with to like
He gave
carry
him
on.
notes. He
Like,
gave him
you-
notes.
you-
He had
You are
pretty hard
correct.
limitations. I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
That-
Like you can.
There
No,
is-
he didn't. He didn't have any limitations because it's been documented that Ryan took a look at JJ's notes and threw them away and said, "Nah, I'm going to do something
No.
entirely."
That's post backlash revisionism.
No.
What?
No. That's something that they said happened. And
No, that's Star Wars Apocrypha. Like explained it. Like Daisy Ridley said that to throw Ryan under the bus afterwards, because the
that doesn't mean
backlash.
it's untrue.
No, it's not true. Like he definitely took things
Do you
from
have
his
any
movie.
evidence? Do you have any evidence that it is not true?
Watch Star Wars Apocrypha 1 and 2.
I don't care about Star Wars Apocrypha. For all I know,
it's in Nerdonimus's like YouTube channel. It's his 2 videos: Star Wars Apocrypha 1 and 2. They
For all I
explain
know,
everything.
for all I know, he's just spouting conspiracy theory nonsense.
He could be like Doomcock, where he's constantly going, "Oh, it's only another 2
those videos
weeks."
are 2 like hours long each, and the dude is like an investigative reporter in like how thorough he is. Like Doomcock makes 20-minute videos where he talks about like random sources, whoever they are, that came in. It's not a fucking a fair equivalence, guys.
And let me also be clear. I don't know which of the two is worse, JJ or Ryan. However, they just like here's a good example of who you can blame for certain things in a film.
Look,
Ryan Johnson ruined hyperspace in his movie. The fact that JJ then proceeded to make hyperspace jump to fix it is JJ's fault, not Ryan's.
Look. Just the way you got to look at it is that JJ stabbed Star Wars in the back. And then he put Ryan in front of him and placed his hand on the knife. And he was like, you go and just wait here. And then he runs off. And then everybody finds Ryan with the knife. And Ryan is such a narcissistic retard that he gladly took the fall for what
that
JJ
makes
did.
Ryan
no
Johnson.
sense.
What happened was more like
Wait,
JJ stabbed Darth in the back, and then Ryan Johnson impaled him, disemboweled Star Wars, and smothered himself with its intestines.
Sure, maybe
he
he stabbed it
Wait,
again.
let Spiring speak.
Ryan Johnson is an arrogant fuck. He refuses to take any criticism
He is so
ever pointed
easy
at
to
him.
hate. He is so easy to hate.
Because he's
as a
an
guy.
arrogant asshole. He has had interviews and refuses to say he ever did anything wrong.
Listen, he is so easy to hate that he makes the perfect fall guy.
What
do you
come mean?
Why would he come out and say that you're just upset it's not the movie you wanted?
He's called the fans sexist and racist on Twitter.
I know, but that makes him the perfect fall guy.
We don't have to go over there. Straight up, he was on a CNN live interview with Mark Hamill, and he was asked, "Did you find any valid criticisms of your movies?" And his answer was no.
Yes, I know. Ryan Johnson is a terrible person, and he's not a good filmmaker. I'm just saying that I would have him make a movie earlier than JJ, because JJ just copies shit and then vomits it on a plate, and Ryan you can a movie I'm not gonna say that a movie like Knives Out is well written or good in any way, but it's definitely more creative and unique than anything JJ comes up with, right?
Didn't he just rip off Clue?
Maybe he did a little bit, but the whodunit is a fucking genre that has thousands of movies. So I don't really think that's fair. It's just.
I kind of agree with your description of JJ.
The only reason why I'm defending Ryan
one at a time, please.
What?
One at a time, please. Aspiring, then replica.
So I agree with your description of JJ. He is a parasite who just kind of vomits out older works, and because of that, I hold a bit more hatred for him than Ryan, because he takes basically a plan and still fucks it up, while Ryan at least doesn't try and take good things and doesn't copy shit and somehow make it worse. He just does stupid shit that's worse. But JJ is a better person, and at least is humble enough to admit when he makes mistakes, though admittedly he will say stupid shit this is not a science film. The two are terrible in their own right, but Ryan is not a fall guy. He says shit without, believe me, Disney doesn't exactly like Ryan. He was promised a trilogy, and that's going
I'm not saying
nowhere.
that Ryan didn't have terrible ideas on his own. This is all coming from Nerdonima's video, where he basically exposed that a lot of the things in The Last Jedi are attempts at damage control for the stuff in TFA, and that thereby technically you have to just be honest and intellectually be honest and recognize that Ryan was basically handed a movie that was, he could have made it better, but I think Airborne, my friend on our own podcast, he described it well. The Last Jedi was going to be absolutely terrible. We just got Ryan Johnson's flavor of terrible. The blame for the movie's fuck up should at least also go massively to JJ and not be squarely placed on Ryan.
Can I ask one question? Can I please point out one time of damage control that Ryan did. Name one damage control thing he did in this movie.
Luke being closed off from the Force, explaining why he didn't react to Han and like the Hazian Prime's explosion.
That's not the direction he needed to
That
take.
is just
Tarek,
stupid. That was just stupid.
No.
If he is closed off from the Force,
no.
then it kind of makes sense that he doesn't even like react to Han's death.
That's no, but the fact that Luke would close himself off at all makes no sense.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying that if you have TFA and Luke, like the guy we know as a hero from like from the 4, 5, and 6, doesn't give a fuck when a planet is blown up, doesn't even react when Han dies. He's just sitting there doing nothing on the island. Like,
but that's the thing. Hold on.
If that's what you've got, then you have to be like, okay, he's closed up from the Force. That's why he doesn't know.
No.
No.
Now,
it all happened in the same day.
Yeah, he could have had no time.
He didn't have enough time. He didn't even. He straight up didn't even have enough time to go over there.
Yeah.
Like,
you could have actually had him go run up to Rey and be like, "What the fuck has happened? I've sent so much shit in the past 24 hours."
Hey, look, guys, the whole close up of the Force thing, I think it's bullshit. Like, I hate it, and it's all fucking dumb and terrible. But I'm just saying that, like, Ryan, like, he might have, like, he had really horrendous ideas himself, but hold
on.
He
You
actually
just said
tried to fix JJ's bullshit in his own way, and
that's a bad way.
Yeah.
But hold on. In Force Awakens, we don't know Luke did this. We don't know what Luke is up to. For all we know, he could have remained on the planet because he has a much bigger plan going on. He has his own.
Those are all.
Working
that's
on.
all speculation and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
the Force Awakens is a teaser trailer to the next movie, and when you realize that nothing is set up or explained, and that everything is a mystery box, none of the character arcs are like fulfilled, and then you get to the second movie, and Ryan is trying to uphold the mystery box. And all the and like the not explaining shit bullshit
replica, buddy,
throughout the movie to save it for the third movie. Like it just fucking collapses in on itself.
Replica.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: when there's multiple, Ryan could have taken many a path with Luke from that end scene. We don't know why he's been there. We don't know how long he's been there. We don't know his states. For all we know, he doesn't have a ship to leave the island because he crashed it. There are many ways Ryan could have fixed it and made it reasonable. He took the worst possible way, and that is Ryan's fault.
A guy is like making a building collapse, and Ryan took like a what do they call that thing that like that with a construction site that you put sand in? Like he took one of those fucking tractor things and drove into the site that was falling, thinking it would maybe like keep it going, but instead it broke off. And it fell on him, and he died. He made it worse by trying to fix it. Like I'm not saying like I'm just saying that like having understood this, I'm not as comfortable saying that Ryan is like as much as fault as like JJ. Like Ryan is like lesser so, but he's still fucking terrible. And he did the milking scene and all that stuff. But like JJ is like the true like final boss bad guy of this like trilogy.
I can't believe how thick you are. I genuinely cannot believe how thick you are. It astounds me. Yeah, because let me finish, please.
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
We all keep saying this. J.J. Abrams does the mystery box thing. J.J. Abrams does the mystery box thing. J.J. Abrams is nothing but setup. He is nothing but a man you call in to set up the mystery box. And then you call in someone else to say what's in that box. That is why The Last Jedi really doesn't work. Because Ryan is every bit of a hack at telling us what's in the box as JJ is as placing the box there.
So what you're saying is that JJ killed Star Wars and Ryan made it worse than dead, so therefore it's all Ryan's fault?
Actually, this is an analogy for you. JJ shot Star Wars in the leg. Rian Johnson proceeded to shoot it in the head.
Exactly.
JJ fucking like cut the aorta from like the heart. Like it's
No, he didn't.
There's
JJ
ways you could have made those two later movies good. There are
Look,
ways.
Just
Yeah,
I don't
a lot,
like. I know you guys
actually.
don't like it when somebody does it like this, okay? But you have to watch the video to understand where I'm coming from, because my
Okay.
point
Now,
of view here.
Can you
Hold
not
on.
explain what you saw in the video? Can you not
Hold on, let me-
explain
let me put it
things?
I'm
like this.
trying to explain it
Like-
to you, but you're like coming up with like all the questions that everybody else ever has.
So
Like-
Yes, because they're valid questions.
Hold
but
on,
they-
guys.
If people
like,
ask the same questions, that means you're not answering them,
Look,
and that
look,
means
look.
there's holes in your explanation.
Look. The bottom line is like Nerdonymous surveyed like everything that was said, like and he makes like the logical like basically like without like primary like confirmation from the people that like were there and like were involved with this. Like I would say his explanation is the most plausible of like any I have seen. So
Wait, so you're
therefore,
saying
like
there's
I
no
am saying
backing?
it like we believe, like he and I believe that it is, and you are still like speculating about why and like how. Like it's
What do you mean? Like
What
you
is
seem to just be putting all the blame on JJ. So JJ cripples Finn. Brian proceeds to take that and just uncripple him immediately, rather than working with it. That is
I'm
Ryan's
saying that
fault for
most of
taking
the
that
things
setup
that
and not paying it
JJ
off.
gave Ryan were going to go to hell regardless.
But they
no,
didn't have
they
to.
didn't have to.
Hold on.
Snow could have been
Well,
interesting.
that's why Ryan is not a good filmmaker.
Mhm.
Oh, wait,
So what
but
the fuck are we arguing about?
You. Oh my fucking lord!
Tarek, listen to me, buddy. You said
Okay, what? I am not your
Listen,
goddamn
listen.
buddy.
You said I was thick.
So-
I thank you. Like, you know, you can see that my muscles are like really fucking big as I like pull this thing. Look, I'm not your enemy, okay? Like you're just completely misunderstanding me, buddy.
No,
And
no,
yes,
no,
you
no,
are
no,
my
no,
buddy.
no,
Then
no.
do better
No, no, no,
to
no,
make
no,
him
no, no.
understand.
You are misinterpreting me because I'm calling you a goddamn idiot, not thick, and maybe you are a roly-poly boy. I can't see that gut of yours, but furthermore, and I know you can, but furthermore, you have completely been disingenuous this entire time because you shifted the conversation from JJ has ruined Star Wars when we are saying that no, it was Ryan because he had all the setup, to the point where you're now saying, oh no, Ryan's still a bad filmmaker, so what are we arguing about? No, JJ set things up. But here's the
You're
thing about JJ.
misunderstanding me completely.
No, you're misunderstanding me at this point.
No, you're misunderstanding.
No,
me.
no. You shut the fuck up and let me finish.
Why are
I
you
have
so
those
angry?
You
I don't
shut
want to.
you shut up and you let me finish. I swear to God.
Dude, I fucking love you. You're great.
Can I have both of you pause for just a moment? Replica, please define what a setup is.
If you take the fucking mystery box bullshit, like there is not many directions you can go. Give me fucking TFA and force me to make The Last Jedi again, and it will not go. It will not end up well.
Here, I'll
One,
just go.
I can make
I'll go-
I can
hold on,
make
hold on,
TLJ
hold on.
good. Two, that did not answer my question. Define what a setup is.
Oh yeah.
Are you just like fucking gonna like ask me to like define setup?
I need
Yes.
to make this clear because you don't seem to understand it. So let me ask, do you know what a setup is? Please tell us what it is.
I'm gonna since he's not talking, I'm gonna make my point. By the very nature of a mystery box, anything, and I mean anything, could be in it because you don't have enough
The
clues.
assembly and arrangement of the tools and apparatus required for the performance of an operation.
Did you read that off of a dictionary.com?
Basically, yeah.
You might want to search up literary setup.
Okay, that's true.
So I have.
Anyways, I wasn't done here. By the very nature of a mystery box, you could have anything in it because it's all set up. Now, the biggest issue with a mystery box is you need to have the right payoff. For example, have you guys ever heard the story of? Have you guys ever heard of Alfred Hitchcock in The Bomb in the Briefcase? Have you heard that analogy?
Yep,
never
I've heard it
actually.
frequently. Yeah.
All right, all right.
I don't watch movies that old yet.
Anyways,
It's an interview.
anyways, the entire idea behind the briefcase bomb, according to Hitchcock, is that it's not about the explosion. It's about the build up to the explosion. Like, what happens if you leave the briefcase in a crowd in an airport, or what if you leave it in a train? When's it going to go off? It's all that anticipation. Now, if the briefcase blows up and it turns out that there was never a bomb in it, you could make that work. What Ryan did, he took away the briefcase and said, "Oh no, it's now a lunchbox."
No, that's just mystery box.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes, it continued the mystery box from JJ.
So
what?
He opened
Subversion of expectation is the mystery box, guys. Like, it's fucking obvious.
No, subversion of expectation is completely
But
separate.
anything could have been in that box. Anything. Why did it need to be a subversion? And why did the subversion
He needed
need
to save
terrible?
it for the third movie because that's the only thing it continued from JJ is the mystery box.
I would actually disagree with that because he pretty much resolves most of the big plot points.
Yeah.
The good guys lose.
No, those are all like misdirection for like the obvious like answer.
There was no misdirection in that movie.
I think what you guys are like missing is that Nerdonymous said that like
I don't care what Nerdonymous said.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
what you just said, Tarek. I'm sick and tired of hearing what Nerdonymous says. I want to know, Replica Films, what is your opinion on this? I don't want you to explain to me another person's video or defend another person's video. I want you to give me your genuine answer because I keep hearing you referring to somebody else. And I used to do this shit a lot too, and it just led to conversations like this that's just toxic and annoying. So please, give me your sincere, genuine, and honest opinion about film.
About this film?
Yes.
Or just
about the directors, about what's going on between them. Forget about Neuronis' video. What did you take away from it, from this situation?
Well, I mostly adopted his perspective, so I don't really understand.
Then you're a sheep. Okay. You're a total sheep because you can't form your own consensus based on your views, and that's not good.
When you just take quotes from people and just for your arguments without understanding what they're saying, it doesn't go well. But just like this is why we keep saying you need to make points and arguments, not just quotes, because quotes is not an argument.
Yeah,
it's someone else making an argument, and they probably understand what they're saying, hopefully. But you don't seem to. I know people can quote people as evidence or like to try help understand how to formulate a point. You're doing neither.
Yeah, I was able to identify this because I've went through this sort of conversation several times with people that I know, and I always ended up coming out to realizing that holy crap, I'm an idiot, and holy crap, I'm just a blind sheep following the herder. And it was a painful process to get out of that stupid mindset and start figuring things out for myself. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's a great feeling just defining your own point of views rather than listening to somebody else.
Yeah, like.
Are you guys done misinterpreting me entirely?
No, we're not misinterpreting.
We're not misinterpreting.
You said this directly.
You can say that we are misinterpreting, but you have not proven your statement.
You are
also
misinterpreting me entirely.
Quit gaslighting us.
It's not fucking gaslighting. I'm just saying that I watched his video, and I believe that what he said is true, and I'm trying to explain it to you guys. That's just the bottom line of it. If you wanted my own fucking perspective is like a whole another story. Like I'm just explaining.
That's what we wanted from the beginning.
Yeah, we didn't want the other guy's opinion.
That's not what I was. That's not what I was exactly. That was not exactly what I was talking about. Now, was it?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Replica.
Supposed to still be on it.
Replica. Why do you think the mystery box is bad? I'm sure you heard it's bad, but why do you think it's bad?
TV show gimmick.
That's not an answer.
No.
Please do
That's
better.
not an explanation on why the mystery box is bad. Because I will explain it to you. The mystery box is bad is because it's a setup without payoff. It's dangling keys. It's dangling the image of having something more behind what it is.
That is the TV gimmick in its entirety. It's dangling keys and tricking you to watch until the end.
TV gimmick?
That's
TVs
every
can
single-
set up stuff.
Bad
That's-
TV
it's
show
al-
gimmick.
It's also movies. It's
Yes.
not just
Yeah.
TV shows.
Pulp
It's
Fiction.
used for
Pulp
the
Fiction.
movie, but like it's the same idea.
It's a setup without a payoff. It's setup done terribly. Not all TV shows do this. The good ones know how to set up something, and there is something behind it. Bad ones will try and keep dangling a key, dangling a mystery, and never have an answer for it planned, and then bullshit it. That's
Breaking
why it's
Bad.
bad.
Breaking Bad has has setups that are paid off by the end of this fifth season, and they're paid off extremely well.
Yeah.
Because
So when
they had a
Jade-
very clear plan of what they were going to do. Brandon Sanderson has a very clear plan of what he's going to do with Stormlight Archive, and he's setting up each of the elements in there. To use an example of the people here, me and Tarek are both setting stuff up in our books for later on. Like
Yes.
for me, I'm setting up
Tarek
what
is a writer.
Yes, he is. He's published I think at least a short story of his part one of his Shadows of Tyrion on Amazon, as far as I know.
It's a demo, yeah. I've published a short story, basically a demo of the series. And how dare you, first of all, Tarek's a writer. Why do you think I'm here?
Here's the thing. This happened exactly last time. You weren't
Guys,
like, we're all writers. It's like,
I
yeah,
hope you guys understand that I still am struggling to like understand. This is a podcast for writers by writers.
How is that
I
hard to understand?
I don't think I've ever like written something in my life.
upload
it's not a
YouTube
requirement
videos.
to be on here.
Yeah, I do upload
People on
YouTube
here
videos,
have
but I don't
a
write
passion.
them.
Written.
No, I haven't. Like even my story videos, like I haven't. It's all just in my head. Like I actually struggle severely at writing, which is why I'm out the fucking Discord in the first place.
Replica. Basically, this is a place that often attracts writers or just people who are passionate about writing, where not is because they write or simply criticize.
I'm
writing
aware
or
of that. You don't
writing.
need to explain that to me, okay?
Okay. Also,
Look-
what was my fucking point earlier?
Look-
My memory is becoming more and more short term, like the stereotypical goldfish.
Okay.
Guys,
we're running
I'm not
out of
against
time,
you guys.
so-
Yeah.
Like I was just trying to inform you of a perspective that like is not very like wildly known, and for some reason you guys like thought that was like my opinion that I just copied I have my
We're
own
not in-
perspective. Like I was just trying to
Maybe we're
explain.
not interested. We are because we're talking about a different subject. If you want to talk about Mr. Nerdonymous, I would be happy to take a look at his video and review it later. But right now we're talking about something else entirely.
Well, it helps explain the nature of The Force Awakens, which is what made it relevant in the first place.
Well, here's the thing. You're bad at explaining things because you don't know how to formulate points and arguments in a coherent way, nor are you capable of understanding ours and how they're relevant to yours. And you seem to disregard half of them when we ask you a simple question, like, what is the definition of this, so we can have more clarity in our discussion. You are very unused to this environment, and which is why you seem to be constantly behind. And I'm trying to be nice here. There's someone here very much not nice to you.
Yeah.
We both want you to improve.
We'll have to eventually I will have to do the why the sequels and Transformers movies are equally bad as the most charitable. Yes, I don't care. I will maintain that to the day I die, that they are at least as bad as the other. Possibly Transformers might be worse in some ways. The humor is definitely worse.
I feel like this is like crossed between like what is actually true or not, and it's just become like a feud between us and two.
Possibly
a feud. You've been
A
on.
feud requires two fighters. You're incapable.
I
of
was gonna
fighting.
say this isn't a fight. This is a slaughter.
Buddy, like that's impossible.
Again, I'm not your
with
buddy.
this-
Well,
Why am I
think
not
I
your
know
buddy?
for
I
me.
like you. Come on.
Well, you gotta-
Don't you guys realize that I love watching these like podcasts?
Replica films, buddy.
All right,
Oh,
this
actually,
is
you're not
just
my
dumb.
buddy.
Like, can
But
we like continue this thing?
I actually have something going on. It's going on a little bit longer than I anticipated. So we'll have to reserve this for another time. Maybe no,
Didn't you still have a few more things in your PowerPoint presentation?
No.
I was hoping we'd finish getting through it,
Well,
but it
here's the
seems
thing,
like
I think
why not?
We're done
No,
with this movie. We're fucking.
That was it. There was just the conclusion, and we pretty much concluded this whole thing.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
We beat. Everyone's beaten this horse. We needed something new, and you were that something new, Replica.
Do I have something new?
Yes, you brought color to this stale live stream.
Oh god, I'm not.
Well,
Please
I mean,
don't
like,
invite me on for another debate like this.
Excuse me, I just want to say one thing. I fucking hate diversity hires bringing color into this shit.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should leave on that note. What do you think?
But I do want to say, like, aspiring writer guy. Well, okay, actually, the second thing I would say to you is get a better name because that could be like everybody here. Star Wars Visions, like 3, I just enjoy for the insanity value, but 4 and 5 are like genuinely good, and I mean, the two is just way too short for anything. Like, I mean, like, okay, I will say that 4 does have the it does have the freeze the blaster bolt in midair thing, which everybody hates, but
I think that it's fine. I don't see any problem with it. It's just that it's never used later. That's the problem.
That is true. It's never brought up again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I would say that episode is just genuinely good. Like the real problem with Star Wars Visions is that all the episodes are just way too short. Like the first 2 are around like 12 minutes, and with what the second one is doing, like I would say you need like at least half an hour. Like episode 5 is like the longest episode, and it's 21 minutes. And it basically feels like a pilot to a great anime TV show that deserves to exist, or Star Wars anime.
Okay.
Okay. Well, eventually we will have to do our Winter Soldier versus Far From Home, which is worse debate, only with the Transformers movie.
Far From Home.
Holy shit! No, that's completely out of my depth.
Well, basically, like, we'll have to do... Well, no, it's like, we're going to have to do, like, EFAP did a debate where they were trying to determine which is worse, Far From Home or Winter Soldier, and we'll be doing that with the Transformers movies and the sequels at some point.
Okay, I'm going to need to hop off around now.
I think we're just ending it.
We're ending anyway.
Yeah.
Holy crap, I need a freaking palate cleanser. My brain right now.
Alrighty.
I would like it done if you could like link Nerdonimus's videos, because like I feel like it would like in the description here, because it would definitely retroactively make my points seem a lot better than they really are. Because the only thing that I might agree with here is that I am bad at explaining them, because it made complete and total sense to me when I watched the video. So yeah.
I will put that in the description if you want me to. You can also put it in the Discord under advertiser content. I'm just going to let you know that only I have the power to at everyone. And make it notify people. So, yeah, well, we will call that good for today. I'm going to drop off as soon as the clip happens. Since I have a friend over and we've got a prior appointment, but this was interesting. I'll
definitely.
Well, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
See you guys.